All right, yeah, I'm inviting people up. Go ahead and come on up if you like to talk about what I have on the board. All right, y'all. So we going ahead and get this popping and getting started. If you disagree with what I have on, or not disagree, if you think you could give me a good reason to believe in a God, go ahead and come on up. I will definitely appreciate the discussion. Definitely appreciate you coming up, and we can definitely have a conversation. So if you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God, it is now open. The guest queue is now open, and I'm gonna start my call-in line in just a second, okay? Hey, JC, go ahead and come on up. Who knows? Maybe you could give me a good reason.
Maybe you can give me a good reason.
All right, please turn down
Please
the
turn
echo.
down the echo.
If you're watching me on TV or something, you gotta turn that down, bro.
Is it better?
That's way better. All right, Dwayne, how's it going, Dwayne? Are you at least 18? Good. And do you think you could give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes.
All right, sure. What do you think that reason is?
How many species do you think?
How many what? How many what? I'm sorry?
Species. Species.
How many species there are?
Yeah.
There are millions. I won't be able to give you a good estimate, but I already know that there's like millions of species of insect. I know that. Probably other than that, not sure what it has to do with anything though.
So it's roughly like 10, 15 million species on Earth. Would you agree with that?
Around that, but there could possibly be more than that, sure.
Okay. Are we the only ones that make things?
What do you mean by that?
Man-made things. You know, a cheetah don't make cheetah things. An elephant don't make elephant things.
What do you mean
they all use what? They use what was already for them. We're the only that make things. Would you agree with that?
We also make things out of things that are already here. So what do you mean?
Would you agree with that? We're one of one. Would you agree with that?
No, because
how about this? We're the only ones that dig a 6-foot hole and put a tombstone over the grave. Would you agree with that?
No, elephants bury their dead too.
They dig a 6-foot hole and put a tombstone on top of their.
It's not necessarily a 6-foot tombstone, but they do mourn and bury their dead.
But did they put a tombstone on it?
No, but I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. Are you saying that because we put a tombstone, therefore a God exists? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does.
How does that make sense to you? That
we're
just
one of one.
So
would you agree we're on top of the? Would you agree out of all the species on Earth, we're at the top of the food chain? How about that?
Sure, you can make an argument for that.
Can you kill a whale? Yeah,
we can kill a whale. Sure,
but we wouldn't be able to kill those things without man-made things, right? We wouldn't be able to kill them with our bear.
Probably not. But the thing is, how does this show that a God exists?
That should tell you everything you need to know. God exists.
No, it doesn't, because those same thing can kill us. This doesn't track.
Same things can kill us.
Yeah, elephants can kill us, whales can kill us, dolphins can kill us. They all can kill us. What do you mean?
Yeah, because they're significantly larger and bigger.
Correct.
Right?
And we have thumbs and can make tools that can kill other things. I'm not sure what you're getting at. Them simply. Hold on, wait, Dwayne, hold on for me. Listen, yes, we are the dominant species on this planet, and we can build cities, etc., etc. That does not mean a God exists.
Why doesn't it?
Because there are explanations for why that is. We have the thing is we have basically these like hands and have more abilities for abstract thought, but that doesn't make a God exist. That just means that we evolved all these traits.
every species uses what was already here for them.
So do we. So do we. Steel is made out of stuff that comes from the ground.
Okay, how about this? Can you say you want to say evolution, as we progress into technology and convenience, would you say we get worse off instead of better off?
I would say the only reason we're getting worse off, or you can judge us being worse off, is because of our politics. Right now, we have an economic system that's built on like complete selfishness, where it's I win, and if you don't win, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like I'd say, but as technology get better, we humanity does progress, right? We do have things that can make humanity better. Like matter of fact, let me say this. I was actually having this discussion about AI. AI could actually make our lives better. The reason why it's not is because the companies that are developing it are not developing it to improve human lives. They're developing it in order to become trillionaires and sit over us because they just want to be kings again. You know what I mean? But the technology for AI, it actually can improve our lives. It can get rid of a lot of rudimentary work that we don't need to do. Yeah, I mean, it could even possibly help us like live for a longer period of time. It can do all that. However, it's not doing that because of, you know, these billionaires just want to live like kings and screw everybody else. It's for profit. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
Call it whatever you want, but as long as we get away from that, the more we get away from nature, the worse off we get. That's the bottom line, brother.
Not necessarily, because I'm not sure if you ever heard of something called solar punk, where solar punk is actually a blending of technology with the environment. We actually can do that. The only reason why we don't is because of profit.
Oh, okay, but that's profit is what it is. The further we get as a species, the further we get away from nature, the worse off we get. You can see this. Y'all.
Not necessarily though, because not necessarily because of technology. Remember, the average lifespan used to be 35 years old. That increased because of technology. The reason why we're getting worse off is not because we're getting away from nature. Is because of profit. People only want to make money. They want to acquire currency. It's not because we're getting away from nature.
That stuff because of greed. They're only inventing it because of greed.
You're kind of in the matrix. I can't really.
We don't invent nothing. We just.
Okay, now you're better. Your signal is better now. You're dropping out. Say that again.
We don't invent nothing. We only discover it. Would you agree with that?
No, we invent things.
No, we don't invent things, brother.
This was invented. Plastic, that was invented. So was this.
There was already there.
Phones were invented.
It was already there. The technology was already there. The knowledge was already there.
Radio was not there. We discovered radio waves, and then we invented a way to discuss. Hold on. We discovered. Hold on, Dwayne. We discovered radio waves, and then we invented a way to communicate over those waves.
It was in the mind first, homie.
You're saying that radio existed in our brains. How come cavemen didn't have radio then?
That's because your consciousness doesn't come from this world.
That doesn't explain. That doesn't really answer my question, my guy. That doesn't really answer my question.
Every species on this planet uses what's already here. We're the only one with a different consciousness, not from this world.
How do you know that?
I mean, that's easy to see.
Wait, Dwayne, slow down for me, bro, because you're going a mile a minute. How do you know that?
What do you mean? How do I know that?
You said that our consciousness comes from some other worldly thing. It comes from another dimension. How do you know that?
How do I know that? Because I just do. Look at every other.
Nah, bro. Thing. Because Dwayne, I could literally say. Hold on, Dwayne. I could literally say our consciousness comes from our brain because I just know it. Like you have to actually prove what you're saying, bro. You just can't say I just know it. I can literally say that, you know, Olodumare created black people to be the superior people of the world. And when you say, how do I know that? I said, well, I'm bald and black, therefore it's true. Like you don't get anywhere.
Look at the proof. Look at what your eyes tell you. Look at the proof.
What do you mean look at the proof? What does that mean?
Look at what your eyes tell you. Okay, so you gotta look. Why does every other species on this earth use what was already here? But
So do we. We use what's already here. We do that.
we're the only ones that make man-made things. How come a cheetah don't make cheetah-made things?
What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
An elephant don't make elephant-made things.
All right, bro, this is a waste of time. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and move on because I'm wasting my time here, and this is like insane. All right, y'all, I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all, once again, if you're watching me over on the Volcy Thoughts channel, if you're watching me from Deconstruction Junction, if you're watching me from Black Atheist Coalition, I definitely appreciate you. Even if you disagree with me, go ahead and keep the conversation going. You guys are wonderful, and go ahead and just if you would like to talk about what I have on the board, call that number and we will have a discussion. I give everyone at least 10 to 15 minutes to speak, and we can go ahead and get it done. I appreciate y'all. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next guest. We have up here Una. Una, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I can.
All right, cool. What do you think that reason is?
Let me just start out by saying I do not believe in the God that I was given. And that God that I was given was a biblical or a Christian or a churchy existence. But in my personal life, I have asked for it to be revealed in certain ways, and it revealed itself. It was just that simple for me.
Okay, what does that mean?
What do you mean, what does it mean? Who was I talking to? I think it goes by many names. That's why I use the word it.
Mm-hmm.
I have asked it to reveal itself in certain ways, and it does. That's my proof.
All right. How does it do that? And how come it just doesn't do that to everybody else?
I don't know if it does it for everybody else. It does it for me.
Cool. How do you know it's doing it for you? What do you do?
I just said I ask it to reveal itself in a certain way, and it does.
Okay.
I ask it to show me things, and it does.
Okay. So you ask it to show you things. What do you ask it to show you, and how do you know that it's that thing that's showing you those things?
I have asked it simple things like, I want to know who are the people who are against me, and I want that person to show up with red shoes. I'm very specific with what I'm asking, and it shows up.
How do you know those aren't just coincidences?
Because I've done it several times. It's not a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence.
Okay.
Everything.
Do me a favor. Can you ask it to end this live right now?
I can ask it to.
Okay. Go ahead and ask it to end this live right now.
I don't want it to end this live. There's a certain amount of energy that goes into the asking.
Right. I know you don't I know you don't want it to end. What I'm asking you to do is ask that thing to make it end and see if it does it.
I don't have the energy or the desire or the faith in the ending. It won't end.
Now you don't have the energy or faith or desire. What do you desire? Do you desire okay, let me ask you this. Do you desire for me to live a good life?
Yes.
Okay. Me living a good life wouldn't entail me having $1 million. Can you ask that thing to give me $1 million?
I could.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and ask it for me to get $1 million tonight.
Let me just say it's more than asking. I am a co-creator, not the only creator. We are co-creators in this consciousness.
Okay, cool. So as a co-creator in the consciousness, I'm asking you to let me get $1 million tonight. Can you do that?
I can't do that, no.
Why not? I thought you were a creator.
You would have to be involved in it because it's about your life.
Oh yeah, I'm involved in it right now. I'm involved in it right now. Let's go ahead and get involved for me to get $1 million. Let's go ahead and do that.
Can I just say that it's more than words? It's energy involved.
Okay, sure. So So first, you said whatever it acts, it gave to you specifically. And then when I asked for a specific thing, you said you don't have the energy to do it. And then when I said, okay, cool, let's go ahead and do another thing, you said that I have to be involved. And then when I'm offering to be involved, now you're back to the energy. Like what is all that we need to make it
Okay.
to make this do its thing?
I can't control anyone else's life and energy. If you don't have the belief system involved in your life, I can't create it for you. That is something you have to connect with source with in order to create that $1 million.
Okay, so now I actually have to believe it's gonna happen before it actually happens.
You would have to believe it in order for it to happen. Just like your podcast, just like the people here on your live, you would have to have believed it in order for it to happen.
Why? If this thing is so powerful that it can make you, that it can specify making people show up with red shoes for you, why can't it just give me $1 million without me actually knowing that if it exists or not?
Because you have to be a co-creator. You have to put energy into it in order for it to happen.
So I have to put energy into it. Isn't energy just a property of a system and not a thing onto itself? Are you saying energy is a thing onto itself, like an ethereal thing onto itself?
Yes. Do you believe in energy?
Yeah, energy is basically a property of a system. It's not a thing onto itself.
Energy. What does it say about energy? Cannot be created or destroyed.
Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Correct, because it's a property of a system. It's not a thing onto itself. Once thing exists, energy exists.
So, can we agree that we can put energy into things?
Yeah, sure. I can put kinetic energy into this, right?
Okay.
But I think
so if I can put energy into things, that means I can manifest things.
Not necessarily.
That means you and I have been given the power to create. It has to, like the other guy was saying, it has to be a thought before it's a thing.
But Una, like this really like misunderstands what energy is, right? I'm using energy in a scientific sense. Like right now, this is kinetic energy. I'm putting kinetic energy into this water bottle. But just because I did that doesn't mean I can also create rain. You see what I'm saying? So like, you're talking about energy of like a concept of a ethereal thing onto itself, and that's not what energy actually is, unless you're saying that it is. Now you're gonna have to go ahead and how do you do that?
Okay, you're talking about something else. I am saying this is my point. Believe it or not, I'm not gonna try to convince you that God exists. People call it God, people call it energy, people call it source, people call it universe. They call it all kinds of shit, right? What I'm saying is I have challenged it, and it has shown up in my life.
Okay, so challenge it to give me $1 million.
I can't control your life. You have to use it for yourself.
But you just said that you challenged it and it actually showed up. Yes, so why won't it show up to give me $1 million?
I challenged it for my own life. It is a tool. It's here to serve.
Oh, it's a tool. Okay, how do I get the tool? How do I get the tool?
Use it for yourself. What do you want?
I want $1 million. Are you saying that if I pre-believe this thing that has no evidence of existence, I'm going to get $1 million tonight?
Sir, what I am saying is it is here to serve.
Well, that doesn't really answer my question. What I'm asking is this. If I simply pre-believe something, even though I'm unconvinced, because that's not the way belief works, right? I need to be convinced that something exists first. And the way that I'm convinced is either very, very good reason or some evidence, right? Right now, you're not really giving me any really very good reasons or any evidence. You're just saying that I did something and it worked. Cool. How do I make it work for me? And you said I have to pre-believe it, even though I'm not convinced. That doesn't make any sense.
That's not what I said. I said you can use it for yourself.
Okay.
I can't.
The
I
problem
can't
is,
control any. I
I
can't
got you.
control.
I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
The thing is, you're not really defining what it even is. You're simply saying that you have to have the energy and belief for it to happen, and that really doesn't mean anything. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. It doesn't mean. I respect that you say it doesn't mean anything to you. I have challenged it. I have tested it, and it has worked.
Okay.
And I know tons of people who have challenged it, tested it, and it has worked for them.
How about
And
people
if
where it
you,
hasn't worked? Because you're talking
and
about,
if you,
because you're talking about, hold on, Una. What you're talking
yeah.
about, what you're leading on to, is something called manifestation. And guess what? I have tried it.
Did you manifest anything?
No, it didn't work.
I don't believe you.
I know you don't.
You're sitting right here on the
I know
live.
you
You
don't.
manifested it.
I know you don't. I know you don't believe me.
Do
I
you
know you don't
have
believe me.
children?
But that's called. I have a tragic story about children. I don't want to talk about that right now. So
Okay.
I have actually in my younger 20s done exactly what you're saying. I've
Okay.
tried it and it didn't work, which is how I knew it was bullshit. Because when you try to put this under any type of laboratory conditions or any type of test, what you get is a coin flip. You get 50-50 every single time. So which means that a lot of stuff is pretty much coincidence.
Sir, I do not believe that you have not manifested anything. The fact that you're alive, the fact that your parents
I used to be suicidal.
came together and manifested you is proof. What gave them that power?
My dad was horny, my mom was horny, and they had sex.
There we go.
That's not power. That's not what you're saying.
You said are you saying creation isn't powerful?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen. What I'm talking about, hold on. What I'm talking about is the act of sex, right? You're saying that this is a creative force, but it's simply something physical that we do. What you're saying that when you tested it, essentially, is that you put out there into the universe for something to happen, and then it happened. My parents didn't just put something out into the universe and I was born. They had sex. You see what I'm saying? They had something physical. So when we talk about manifesting, sure, if I go out there and I sign 100 applications and I go on 50 interviews, I'm going to get the job probably 5-10 times, right? But that's not really what manifesting is. It's simply claiming that something's going to come to you when it comes. That's not the way it works. You have to actually go out there and do something, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Your parents came together, they did something, and you happened.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's no reason to call it anything supernatural or anything like that. We go out there and we do things, and things happen.
How do you think they had the power to manifest you?
They had sex. What do you mean?
Where did they get the power? Where did the power come from? We can have sex all day and not have children.
Yeah.
Where do you think the power to create
there is no power. Listen, Una. You know what's Una, hold on. You know what sperm cells and egg cells are, right?
Yes.
There you go. It's something physical that happens. It's chemistry.
Yes, it's chemistry, but how did it happen to make other humans, sir?
What do you mean? Like that? I mean, you have to talk to like a biologist about that. I have no clue. This all goes to evolution and shit, like how cells and molecular biology works. You have to talk to people like that. I have no fucking clue. I mean, we evolved our sperm and eggs, right?
Yes.
There you go. I mean, there's no powers involved. It's basic biology.
Let me just say that science and spirituality go hand in hand.
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
They go hand in hand.
How because science doesn't take spirituality into consideration at all, because you can't test it or prove
it. They do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Metaphysics.
Unless you're talking about that's philosophy. Unless you're talking about psychology and sociology, then yeah, they study spirituality. Philosophy studies spirituality, but the hard sciences, they do not. Biology, physics, chemistry, they do not take spirituality into consideration at all.
Are you telling me that there's no scientists that have?
That's not what I said. Of
So what are
course,
you
there.
saying?
Hold on. Okay, listen to what I said again. Of course, there are scientists who are spiritual people. No one doubts
Yeah.
that. What I'm saying is that the sciences in and of themselves, when a Christian physicist, when a Christian astrophysics, when Christian astrophysicist goes into to study Jupiter or Saturn or anything like that, right? When he looks into his telescopes and make his math, he's not doing that with he or she is not doing that with spirituality in mind. They're just doing math. They're doing science. They're not looking into the telescope and saying God is going to make Jupiter into the telescope. No, they're saying Jupiter is supposed to be over here. Let me calculate it. Let me do this over that. They don't pray and boom, Jupiter's in the sky. That's not what they do. That's what I mean when I say that science does not take spirituality into consideration to do science. Of course, when you talk about psychology or sociology, yeah, they're going to study spirituality. Yeah, of course, those sciences do.
You're saying that everything scientific can be explained.
Everything scientific can be explained. There are things we can't explain yet. No, like
Okay,
for
right.
example, why existence is like, why is there something rather than nothing? We don't know.
Right. Right.
Right. So I'm not saying that science can explain everything. Of course, there are things that we can't explain yet. I'm not.
Okay. And that is what spiritualists believes, that is the God piece, the source piece, the universal piece.
All right, great. Well, until they can prove that, I'm just not gonna believe it. But I appreciate you being up here, Uno. Uno, you have a good day. Good night, all right?
Thank you for letting me up.
Not a problem. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. There was someone here who was up. I'm not sure what happened to that person. If you're still here, go ahead and come back on up. I think you asked me, does my family know that I'm atheist? They do. They do. They just don't like it, of course. All right. Let's talk to Dad. After Dad is going to be Gia, and after Gia is going to be Jason. Give me a second, Dad. All right. If you're watching me from all of the channels, from YouTube to Twitch, matter of fact, I forgot to turn on my Twitch. Let me turn on my Twitch right now. All right. So if you're watching me on all the channels, on YouTube, from Volcy Thoughts to what's that thing called again? From Volcy Thoughts to Deconstruction Junction and everything else. Again, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. And we're going to go ahead and get it going. Once again, the call-in line is open. So if you'd like to call in and talk to me, the line is right here, 786-530-5941, and we can have a talk, all right? All right, we're going to talk to Dad. I'm not sure what happened to the other guy. All right, Dad, how's it going, Dad? Are you at least 18, and do you think you can give me a good reason to believe in a God? You there, Dad? And I'm going to come with you with another name. I can't keep calling you Dad.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can I have your name, please?
Lewis.
Lewis, yeah, because I was gonna keep calling you Dad all night. All right, Lewis, how's it going, Lewis? Are you at least 18, and do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I'm 40, and I can't give you a good reason to believe in God.
What do you think that reason is? You're in the Matrix. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Us. We're a good reason to believe in God.
What does that mean?
So there are two different types of people in this world.
Mhm.
There are those who believe in God and follow in which, whatever religion they're in to live a good life. And there's those who walk away.
Mhm.
Now, if you were to make the claim that there is no God, whichever it's Buddhist, Christianity, Catholic, whatever religion, then you would have to take a good look at everything negative in the world, everything that we do to each other, and ask yourself, what are we and where are we going? Why do we do the things we do to each other? And why does it seem like it's only getting worse, not better? And you would have to come up with an answer to that. This will be an inner question for yourself. Because if God is not real, then what is happening? What is happening in the world? And why would an entity create a false God? Because God, or the concept of God, is in every single civilization around the world.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of entity would create a false narrative to control other people?
Politics. But everything that you're saying, I'm not sure how that shows that a God exists. Yeah, humans can do very, very terrible things to each other. that doesn't really give me a good reason
not just terrible.
But
why are we doing
hold on. We do these things for power, for resources, et cetera, et cetera. That doesn't mean that a God exists, though. Like, I don't know if you ever heard the problem of evil, but the problem of evil would actually say that there's no God because of that. Now, I'm a person where I don't actually say that there is absolutely no God, et cetera. I don't believe in one because I don't have any evidence that one exists. But to claim that there's absolutely no God, there's no way for me to do that, right? Because that's kind of proving a negative, and I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so the point that I was trying to make is that, once again, to say that there is no God or that there's not enough proof that there isn't God, you would have to once again answer, what are we then?
We're human.
Aside from a human being, what is a human being that would do such terrible things to other people? And it's not just politics, because we've been doing it long before politics. Where are we going? Because it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
What do you mean, where are we going? Hold on.
What are we evolving into? What are we evolving into?
We're evolving into, we're not sure yet, because we're not a finished product. Like, you realize that evolution depends highly on your environment and sexual selection and genetic drift. It depends on a lot. Right now, humans have taken over the entire Earth, right? But in 100,000 years, when we live on other planets, we could evolve into something completely different. We just don't know yet. There's going to be a time where we don't have wisdom teeth anymore. That's already starting to happen. You know what I mean? Where we don't have wisdom teeth. Humans are also getting taller. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a time where the average height is probably going to be 6'1". You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're still evolving right now. Are we always going to be Homo sapiens? Maybe not, but we're not going to live that long to see, right? So when you say, what are we evolving into? Like, it really depends on our environment and what happens.
So now, are you the type that believes there is no God, or that there's not just enough evidence to say that there isn't or is a God?
I mean, yeah, I kind of already said that. I'm the second one. I said I don't have enough evidence to say that there is one.
Okay. Well,
there are God concepts that definitely don't exist, like Zeus and Amun Ra. Those definitely don't exist.
Well, that's at least good to hear, because there's people out there that there's a difference between somebody. So you're more agnostic. You don't know. There's not enough evidence. Others will just flat out say there's no God. He's a fairy. You're manipulated. And that's because I was once an atheist too. And like you, I went through a lot of hell in my life. Bad things happen. So you figure there cannot be good if there's evil. And I went down that same route. But once again, you have to also look at the fact that a lot of people who do not believe in God, they don't have good intentions. Some people go the scientific route, and I can get that part. But there's people out there that are atheists, and they just hate, full on hate. And
there are Christians who hate.
Yeah, well, there's a difference.
I can't hear you.
A Christian will go out there and say, "I hate. I do sin. I need help."
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'm talking about the Christians who used to lynch people who look like me.
Well, yeah, everybody's done bad things.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to say, though. When you say that there are atheists out there who don't have good intentions, of course there are atheists out there who are bad people. There are Christians out there who are bad people. For example, the Christians who used to lynch people who look like me. Those are terrible people.
Those are the Christians that Jesus said, "I don't know you."
Right.
So in the Bible, it talks about them.
Right, but the thing is, though, like, it's not about their Christianity; it's about them as a person. So when you say those type of atheists who are just not good people, it's about them as a person. It's not about atheism, because atheism is simply not believing in a God. It's not anything else. There are atheist people who are assholes. There are atheist people who are the most wonderful people you ever meet. I've met atheists who are racist. You know what I mean? So it has nothing to do with atheism. I've met Christians who are racist. Matter of fact, most racist people that I've met were Christian. You know what I'm saying? So go to South Boston and try to enter an Irish parish as a black person. You're gonna get looked at. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. You feel me? Like, it really doesn't matter what religion you are. You as a person cannot be like, religion or non-religion is not what makes you a good person.
Right. So, and another point I wanted to make is, because you're not the only channel I've seen on TikTok that talks religion, and it's good. It's good to have different voices and dialogue. But my main problem with atheism, and the main reason why I walked away from atheism, is because there's too much of a conversation to detract people from religion, to where if you become enlightened, decide that religion is not for you, why take that much energy to tell the whole world that God isn't real? You should just be, okay, good, I got out of the matrix. This is all just a bunch of hogwash. It's brainwashing. Let me just live my good life. But most atheists make it very known and clear that I was once a Christian or a Catholic. Now I'm going to tell exactly why this is so bad. But it was never real to begin with. So you're going to go and try to deconstruct.
Can I answer that question? Let me answer that question with another question. Can you name one president? Hold on. Listen to my question real quick. Listen to my question real quick. Can you name one president that did not profess Christianity?
I asked a question, and that's why, like I said, it's good to have dialogue.
Right. Hold on. But Lewis, hold on, Lewis. Try to understand what I'm trying to point out to you, because you asked the question, why do atheists, or why do we get online and we talk about this type of stuff? The reason why we do is because it has an effect on our lives. There are literally people out there, some of them are in the comments right now, that think that I'm a bad person or something is mentally wrong with me simply for not believing. That has an effect on people. Hold on, Lewis. Whether it's a bad representation of Christianity or religious people or not, whether it's one of those or not, the fact of the matter is, because I don't believe a certain way, especially for people who look like me, because I don't believe in a certain way, people actually believe there's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? And that has an effect on our lives. Like now, my parents, of course, love me forever, right? I have a great relationship with them. They want me to become Christian again. They know I'm not, but they still love me, etc., etc. But I have known people whose parents kicked them out the house because they did not believe anymore, or whose parents told them they were horrible, terrible people who will suffer in damnation forever because they don't believe anymore. It has an effect on our lives. If you look at the United States right now, we are trending or even at Christian nationalism because of this, because they think that we should be a theocracy. I've literally seen sermons in mega churches because that say that Christianity should be the law of the land, and they're influencing thousands of people to believe the same way. This causes a problem in society, which is why we try to talk about this and normalize it and separate Christianity from governance.
That would be the big question. Is religion real or not? Now, if religion is real or not, we're not really going in the good direction. If religion is false, then everything everybody says is valid and okay. But the one thing that, once again, that's a problem is that there is too much hatred for a God that doesn't exist from the atheist standpoint.
That's not what atheism is. Just because, hold on, bro. Just because we don't believe doesn't mean we hate it. That doesn't make any sense.
Of course it is. You mock it.
Mocking something doesn't mean you hate it. I can mock Voldemort. I don't hate Voldemort. Voldemort doesn't exist, right?
God,
so it's like right. Hold on, Lewis. You need to listen to what I'm actually saying to you instead of what you're trying to hear. Listen to what I actually said. I can mock anything. That doesn't mean I hate it. Me and my siblings growing up, we mocked each other all the time. Like, for example, one of my cousins is 6'2", right? I'm about a foot shorter than him. I'm about 5'4". He made fun of me all the time. But I love my cousin. Do you think my cousin hates me? He doesn't hate me. You can mock things and not hate it, bro. Just because we mock it, because we see it as ridiculous, doesn't mean you actually hate the thing.
Mocking is also mocking religion would be another form of, like, let's say what you would consider racism, hatred.
It's not
bigotry.
It's not.
Of course it is.
No. What would be bigotry is if we say that Christians are inferior or Christians are less intelligent. Now, there are atheists who do that, right? There are atheists who are, in fact, bigoted against religious people. That does exist, right? But that doesn't mean that atheism in of itself is that. Doesn't mean that. For example, there are white people who are racist, right? But there's a difference between being a white person and being someone who's a white supremacist. Would you agree?
Of course.
Of course. Now, there are white people who have been brainwashed by white supremacy and believe certain things about other human beings. Yeah, there's that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't necessarily have to be a bigoted person in order to be an atheist. You don't have to do that.
So the point that I was trying to make, and you might even want to look at your comments section, the comments that people are making towards me just because I'm saying a certain thing. That's what I'm talking about. If you believe that because I believe in God that I'm X, Y, or Z, fine. Let that guy live his life. But to have that much mockery, that much that you want to quote unquote destroy that person, that's exactly, once again, when I was an atheist, I listened to conversations just like this from somebody who believes in God, from somebody who didn't believe in God, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, I'm on your side right now, but the way you're talking to that person who just, because of the way he lives his life, because of what he's experienced, just decided that he chooses to believe in God, you're gonna mock him, you're gonna call him stupid, you're gonna do this. That's
Lewis. I'm reading the comments right now, and it seems the most recent comments are saying that not only are you projecting, but you're crying because no one said anything about you.
Okay. Well, I can read a couple to you if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. Read the comment to me that say that you're a stupid person or inferior.
Dad is an atheist, doesn't believe in Krishna, Zeus, Odin, or the other 2,999 religions. Let me see.
Do you think that's bigoted against you?
But once again, here the thing is, if somebody's just trying to express their beliefs, why would you sit there and mock that person? That just shows that you.
But no one mocked anything, bro. No, all they said is that atheists don't believe in all the other 3,000 gods either. That's all they said. Why are you taking so much offense to that? This is what I always find crazy about people who believe. Every time we say we don't believe in your God or the other 3,000 gods that are definitely all made up, y'all get offended. Like, for what? We're just saying that we don't believe in what you believe.
So you said definitely, right? Earlier you said you don't know.
Right, there are. Hold on, Lewis. This means you actually weren't listening to what I said. Listen to what I'm saying again. I said there are gods that definitely do not exist, like the gods of Greek mythology, of Roman and what's the other mythologies? You know, all the other mythologies around the world. Those gods definitely do not exist. Now, are you saying that if you're talking about a god, basically a god concept that's, you know, whatever, like something that exists outside of space and time or whatever? Yeah, sure. Like we don't know if that exists or not, right? We can't say for sure that definitely doesn't exist. But like the gods that human beings come up with, we can definitely say those don't exist.
Every single civilization on Earth do that, and for what reason?
Right. Religion does have, at least in our ancient times, did have advantages. Basically, it's easier to build a culture if all of us believe in the same type of gods, right? So it's easier to build a culture around it. It's easier to defend from outsiders if you have a certain culture built around believing in one god or many. You know what I'm saying? Once you do that, yeah, sure. It's religion can be used for that. It can be used to upbuild civilization. Those things can happen, right? But that doesn't mean that those gods actually exist. The Egyptians built a huge, humongous, one of the biggest and most advanced civilizations in ancient times, believing that the sun was a dude with an eagle for a head. Is that true? No. So we still believe it just because they built a civilization around it? No. Give me a second.
But the question that I said was, why would every single civilization come up just...
Hey, caller, please hold for me. I'll be right back with you. Right. The reason why I said is because what I'm saying is that those civilizations, basically because humans are people that can take, humans are pattern recognizing machines, and we're also agency detecting machines. We had to recognize agency in order for us to live in the wild. Because if you see a lion and you didn't know that that lion can kill you, you probably died. So humans evolved a way to understand that my mind is different from another person's mind or another thing's mind. We were able to do that, right? So because of that, we evolved in a way to view agency everywhere. So now the wind, the stars, earth, rivers, rain, the sun, now all of it we think has agency. If you look at ancient civilizations to see what their gods were, like the famous ones from the Greek pantheon, all of them were just personified versions of nature. Zeus was a personified version of the sky. Hera was a personified version, or at least not Hera, Aphrodite was a personified version of love and sex. You know what I mean? Persephone, or not Persephone, Hades was a personification of death. Poseidon was a personification of the oceans and earthquakes. Yeah, I mean, they're all just personifications of nature.
You believe we're evolving?
Yeah, we're still evolving. We're not a finished product. We're evolving.
We have people that are homeless on the streets. We're killing our own babies. We kill each other. We don't take care of ourselves.
Yeah, all these things are true. All true.
So what are we evolving into when we're doing all these things?
Right. So like these things have always been an issue. Hold on, listen. These things have always been an issue for human society, right? Now, I think it's gotten better for us. Now we recognize how horrible these things are and try to not do it. Yes, you're right. We still have homeless people, but the only reason why we still have the economic conditions that we do is literally just because of capitalism, because greedy white guys want to live like kings. Therefore, there's homeless people. That's what it's about. It's not about, you know, we're just spiritually dead or something like that. Is because we have an economic system that requires infinite growth, and you can't do that without homeless people.
That's if you look at the homeless situation, that has to do with science.
No, it doesn't.
Drugs.
It has to do with capitalism.
Drugs. Homeless people do drugs.
I know homeless people do drugs. Rich people also do drugs. Hold on. Hold on. Lewis. Do billionaires do drugs?
But where do the drugs come from?
Hold on, Lewis. Answer the question. Do billionaires do drugs?
Of course they do.
Okay, so saying homeless people do drugs, therefore it's science, is stupid. Like, what are you talking about?
Where do the drugs come from?
The drugs come from South America.
We made the drugs. You should know that.
Yeah, we made the drugs. I know. Humans have been making drugs all the time. Caffeine is a drug. All right, so Lewis, I have to move on to the next person, bro, because we've been on for some time. I appreciate you.
Thank you for taking my call. I do greatly appreciate it.
Not a problem. All right, guys, I do appreciate y'all. We're gonna move on to Gia next. After Gia is going to be Aristotle. Gia, you're gonna be next. Give me one Give me 1 second. I just got to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody. All right, guys. Shout out to you if you're watching me from everywhere. If you're watching me from Volcy Thoughts, once again, I appreciate you being there. Keep the numbers going. If you're watching me over on a Deconstruction Junction, once again, the number is up on the board. I do have a caller on hold. I'm going to get to him next. Shout out to Cyber Deconstruction. Shout out to Schley. How's it going, Schley? How's it going, Cyber? I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. I do have a gift goal. If you would like to donate to me, I do have a gift goal. Go ahead and tap that gift goal. I appreciate y'all over on the Deconstruction Junction, and I appreciate y'all over on the Black Atheist Coalition. Caller, please stay on hold. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I have no idea what gift that was, but that was awesome. I appreciate that, definitely. All right, y'all. We're going to move on to Gia. How's it going, KK? I'm going to bring it up in a second. We're going to move on to Gia. Gia, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm over 18. I'm really not going to give you a reason because, you know, nobody can give you a reason. You're going to have to find a reason for yourself. But what I want to ask you is, you're talking about science. I have a question for you. What does science say about as far as the stars in the universe in comparison to the sands on the seashore?
There's more and out there in the universe than they are in the seashore. When you swipe out, I can't hear you, bro. So if you swiped out, I don't know what you said. Gio, come back. If you swipe out, I can't hear you. Or did you get a call? There you go.
No, I'm here.
All right, cool. So if you swipe out, I can't hear you, just to let you know.
Got you. So with that being said, we are aware that our sun is a star, correct?
Yep.
And there's like, what, 700 to 200 quintillion, sextillion stars?
Yeah, tons.
Compared to like 7.5 quintillion sands on the seashore.
Yeah, Gia, I'm gonna need you to get to your point, bro.
Yeah, so my point being is this. The fact that all these things were created without your help or my help tells us within ourselves that there is a higher power that put us here. I have a question for you. Did you have any say-so in you being here on Earth?
No, my parents had sex. But I want to go ahead and address. Hold on. I want to go ahead and address. I want to go ahead and address the first thing you said. You said that they were created. Sure. When you say created, do you mean something deliberately placed there by a willing agent?
Created from nothing. Yeah, from nothing.
No.
You
Hold on. Wait.
you
Hold
were
on.
made.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Gia,
Okay.
I don't think you understand my question. When you say things are created, or at least the stars, when you talk about the stars being created, I want to know exactly how you're using created. Are you using created in a sense of like a natural process, or are you using created in a sense of being put there deliberately?
It doesn't matter.
Hold on. Wait. Listen. Are you saying it does matter? Because those are two different things. There are things that are created naturally, like rain. No one deliberately puts the cloud up there, right? It just happens as a consequence of physics and chemistry. But when you say when you say that stars were created, are you talking about like a natural process or something deliberate?
It doesn't matter. I'm saying the same thing. Okay, then let me answer and I'll prove it to you. Okay, there's a difference between something created and something made. Rain comes from something that's already there. So it is made. Something that is created comes from nothing.
Okay, so you're saying that the stars came from nothing?
Exactly.
How do you prove that? Because that goes completely against science.
Oh, science actually says so. Science says there was a Big Bang.
That doesn't mean it came from nothing.
That's right. I mean, before the Big Bang, it didn't exist.
No, before the Big Bang, stars didn't exist, correct? But
right, that's what science says.
Hold on, but that doesn't mean from nothing.
Well, you're contradicting yourself.
No, it doesn't.
Because if something doesn't exist and then it does exist, that means there was nothing before it existed.
No, incorrect. Something existed, and you understand what emergence is, right?
I don't care what kind of word you come up
emergence,
with.
I'm not coming up with a word.
This is not a dictionary test.
Gia. I didn't say this is a dictionary test. I'm asking if you know what. Hold on, listen.
Come on now.
Listen, Gia. I'm asking if you know what emergence is, because this is what that means.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Gia. I'm gonna start putting you on mute if you keep interrupting. Listen to what I'm saying to you. When it comes to things like stars, just because stars didn't exist before the Big Bang doesn't mean that there was nothing. That's not what that means. Because there's something called emergence. There's a process called emergence where things come together to make new things. Now, when it comes to the Big Bang, right? All it says that the universe expanded from a hot, dense state, meaning something existed. We can't explain it with our current methods of physics. We can't explain it with our current methods of chemistry. We can't explain it. We don't know what the hot dense. Hold on. I'm going to tell you when I'm done. Don't interrupt again.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you when I'm done. Don't interrupt again.
Go ahead.
Don't interrupt again.
Bro, talk.
Shut the fuck up. Do not interrupt again.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Thank you. So, yeah, exactly. Run like a bitch. All right. Aristotle. How's it going, Aristotle?
Hi, guy. How are you?
What happened to the other person? What happened to the other woman? I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why she dropped. All right. Aristotle, how's it going, Aristotle? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I am over 18. And yes, I mean, I could give you reasons, but
what do you think that reason is?
Well, I mean, just like you were saying, one of the things is that everything science is studying, they're studying something that's already been created.
Okay.
Science doesn't create anything. Science does just try to catch up with it. Science just tries to figure it out to see why is it here? How did it get here? What makes it be here? How does it work? All these different types of things. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing that we already know. Science do not create, they just study creation.
Aristotle, hold on, wait, Aristotle. That doesn't tell me that a God exists, and nor does it tell me that things were created. So I'm going to ask you Aristotle, listen. So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last guy, and I hope that you can answer it. When you use created, are you using something that was deliberately put there by an agent or a natural process that makes things? Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about something that was put there higher than itself.
All right. When you say put there higher than itself, do you mean like something that was put together by a deliberate agent? Aristotle, hold on, slow down. All right. So you're saying something put into place by a deliberate agent. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
okay,
that's
cool.
higher.
So, all right, cool. Not a problem. The thing is, the problem here is that when you say that the science simply studies creation, you're saying that our existence was put here, or the universe was put here by the deliberate agent. How do you show that's true?
What do you mean? How do we? I guess science should be trying to show that it's not true. But like you said a few minutes
Incorrect.
ago,
Incorrect. Because
Okay.
Aristotle, you're the ones who's
wait.
Aristotle.
Wait,
Hold on.
hold
Wait.
on. You're not letting me finish my
The reason why. Hold on.
You're not letting me finish my statement.
I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you. Listen. The reason why science is not
You're
about
not
to
letting me
hold on.
finish.
Hold on, Aristotle. Hold on, Aristotle. I'm going to let you finish. That's what I'm saying to you. Science is not here to prove your claim wrong. Right? If you believe or you claim that we were put here by deliberate agent, it's on you to prove that. It's not on them to disprove it. You have to prove that because you're making the claim. So what I'm asking, when I ask you, how do you know that's true? You have to have some sort of evidence or some sort of model, something to show what you're saying is true. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but then if I start speaking and you interrupt me and don't let me finish or make my landing, then you're not hearing me out completely. You're stopping me at 2 or 3 words.
Please stop complaining and just move on to what you're trying to say. How do you show what you're saying is true? How do you show that the universe was put here by deliberate agent? How do you do that?
Okay, well, I'll try it again. So what I am saying is that, like I was saying before, I do believe that something that's higher than everything that was created, created it. Therefore, like you didn't create yourself, the world that's around us didn't create itself and everything that's in it. Now, the main thing that gives us a reason to believe that there is something higher than everything around us, even the world itself, is because of the systems and the patterns that governs it. Everything, including human
What
beings.
system and pattern?
Look, okay, you gotta hold on. You can't interrupt me. Just stay
I
on mute.
can't because I'm a mod,
No,
so
but
I
just
can interject.
stay
She actually
on-
can't. Aristotle, I
Okay,
got you.
well,
Hold on, Aristotle, I got you. Hold on. Give me a second.
Don't worry about it.
Aristotle,
Don't
hold on. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I got you. This is what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let you say what you gotta say, but hosts and mods can interject. All right. So
Well,
let's go ahead. Hold on, Aristotle. Aristotle, hold on. I got you. All right. Because I think the reason she interjected is because we already heard all this, so we just want to get to the point. All right. So your claim, right now, from what I've heard, is that we understand that everything that we see, the earth, etc.,
I ain't
etc.
making a claim because I'm interrupted.
All right, I got you. But I'm just reiterating what you say. All right. So what you said previously.
Y'all not.
Aristotle, hold on. I'm just reiterating what you said.
You guys are not interested.
Aristotle,
in
hold
hearing
on. Aristotle, I'm just reiterating what you said. Aristotle, I'm just repeating what you said so
He is
everybody can
only
understand.
repeating what you
Aristotle,
said so we can bring context.
You
Exactly.
shut
Aristotle,
up.
we can do
Shut
that.
up.
Aristotle,
I don't
hold on,
need
everybody
both
pause.
of y'all.
Everybody pause. Okay, so Aristotle, so just go ahead and reiterate what you're saying, what you said. All right. So, things could not have created themselves like the earth, etc., etc. We agree there. It did not create itself. Hold on, I got you. We agree there. Hold on, wait, hold on. We agree there. It did not create itself. We agree there, right? Now, the point of contention that we're having is that you're saying that because it didn't make itself, therefore a deliberate agent had to make it. And what I'm trying to ask you is, how do you know it was this deliberate agent and not a natural process that you simply don't understand yet? How'd you make the difference?
I was trying to get to that before I was rudely interrupted.
You said the patterns, right? What about the patterns? Go ahead.
Well, allow me to get there because you're asking me the same thing.
I'm allowing you. I'm letting you go ahead. You said the patterns. Go ahead and elucidate what you said about the patterns.
Time to direct the conversation.
There she is again. Their foolishness is again.
Aristotle, we're gonna need you to stop complaining and just go ahead and get to the discussion.
And also follow host and my.
But if I can't talk,
you can.
I don't want
to. Aristotle, you
can.
Go ahead.
We've been looking
have all this toxicity just to have a conversation.
Aristotle, please chill. Please relax. Listen, okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay.
You telling me to relax? Really?
Yes, I am. Please, let us please keep going. All right.
Listen,
so you said the patterns.
That demon in the background.
Aristotle, come on now. You said the patterns. Go ahead and elucidate the patterns for me, please.
I didn't drop her, by the way.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't drop her.
I'm like, so I don't want to hear that you didn't get to have a voice. Because first of all, for anyone that comes up, I'm a mod, Volcy is the host. Any mod that's here or the host can interject and redirect the conversation at any time. We're not going to let you monologue. And I'm like, and we've heard all of these things before. We're going to get you to the point.
Yeah, we're just gonna get to the
That's
point.
what we're going to do. So
All right.
yeah,
How's
stop
it going, Ken?
complaining when the host or a mod interjects. We can do that. That is, I'm like, and if you do not like how the live is run, you can get the fuck on. It's that simple.
Always. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. We're going to move on to, how's it going? Slugger?
Solo Doe. That's good. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just going to call you Slugger. All right, Slugger. How's it going, Slugger? Hold on, wait.
Everything good.
I got you. Okay. Are you at least 18? And do you think you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I'm over 18. Way over 18.
Cool. Do you think you could give us a good reason to believe in a God?
I mean, I'm just gonna give you my reason why, and I just want you to hear it out. That's all.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, before I say that, man, you got a talent to put people, when they're emotional, they can't think rational. So you're kind of taking advantage of the people. I just want to let you know that, but it's good.
I'm really not, but I'm just saying, like, let's. All right. I'm sorry, Slugger. Just before you do that, let me just take a quick commercial break. All right, guys. Once again, I appreciate you all for being here. Y'all are wonderful. If you're watching me over on the Black Atheist Coalition, I appreciate you there. Please subscribe. If you're watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction, remember to subscribe to the Deconstruction Junction. I'm going to be live this Monday with Justin from Deconstruction Zone, and I hope you guys can be there to enjoy that. If you're watching me over from Volcy Thoughts, once again, I appreciate you there. Follow me on Volcy Thoughts everywhere, on Threads, on Instagram, on Twitch, and on YouTube. And we did get a $10 super chat. We're going to go ahead and read it off now. Where is says, on the subject of cultures that have no concept of a God, look up the Paraha people of the Amazon. They're so altruistic. They deconverted the Christian missionary that went to convert them. I have heard of those people, the Paraha people of the Amazon. They had no God concept at all. They didn't believe in a God, but they were super altruistic. And the missionary that actually went there to convert them, he ended up not believing because of those people, which is amazing. I appreciate the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and keep the conversation going. Slugger, you said you want to give us your reason of why you believe. Now, it might be a personal testimony. The only thing I would preference with is that personal testimony could be evidence for you, but it's only hearsay to me. So it is never really convincing unless you have more evidence behind it, if that makes sense. But you can't give me your reason.
We don't accept personal testimonies as evidence.
Yeah, but you can't give me your reason. I don't mind listening to what your reason is. Just kind of make it short. Like give you about 2 minutes, all right?
I mean,
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry about that. Give me 1 second.
My name
412. How's it going? Can I get your name and age, please?
My name is Daniel. I'm 26 years old.
Thank you so much. Please hold. I'm gonna talk to you right after my guest up here. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Go ahead, Slugger. What do you think that reason is?
So, I'm halfway. I don't want to say this is not even a good thing to say, but I understand what you're saying and I understand what they're saying. But to be honest with you, you don't even have to get them emotional. You can break them down because they don't even know what they're talking about. Majority of people in the world. Now, my version of God is something positive, love, the grass, the tree, the stars. Now, it's not that he made the stars and stuff. It's the positive stuff within that universe is God. And whatever is bad is whatever. You could call it devil, the bad, whatever, negative, positive. But God is something, because if you ask most people, when you say God, what do you mean? Nobody got a description. Not even you. Or not even any religion.
Okay, so I have a description. Usually, what I'm talking about is the gods of like classical, the classical monotheism, especially Western Christian monotheism. That's usually what I'm talking about. But when you say God is something positive, right? We already have words for those. Like for example, you mentioned it. Love, gratitude. The stars and how beautiful they are. I have I have a sense of awe looking up at the stars at night, especially when I go to a a place where there's not a lot of light pollution. Like whenever I visited Haiti, the last time I visited Haiti was 10 years ago. But when I visited Haiti, and because Haiti doesn't have a lot of lights at nighttime, so you can see the stars in their full glory, right? I saw all the stars, and looking up at that, it made me feel small compared to the rest of the universe, right? It's an amazing feeling. And you're saying that you're putting God on that, right? What I would say is that it's not necessary to do that, and it holds a lot of what I would say. I guess the proper word for it is weight. To put God on that, we could just put add awe or gratitude or love or et cetera, et cetera. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not sure why we would put God on something like that when we already have words for it, because God comes with a lot of baggage with it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but in your conscience, when you translate all those things, when it turns to love, when you looked at that sky from Haiti, you felt some kind of joy. I'm sure.
Yeah,
to a certain point.
I felt small compared to the rest of the universe. You know what I mean? And it was basically an awe-inspiring feeling. Yeah, sure.
That's God right there. That feeling right there you had is God.
No, that's
just a feeling, bro. It's just a feeling of awe.
Feeling in the way that his brain processes.
Yeah, but God is just not. I'm just saying, but you have to connect all the dots. That part, anything that is in the universe that is positive and beautiful, the tree, anything, the grass, you could go on. Those things, when they connect as a common name, they become the name of God.
Why though?
I mean, you have to understand when language, language was exchanged.
What I'm saying is, actually, Slugger, can you hold on for me for a second? Hey, Mr. Henry, can you come up, please? Because like what you just said really pissed me off with the who hurt you. I'm not church hurt, bro. People who don't believe in God are not always hurt. Like, y'all gotta stop doing that, bro. Y'all gotta stop doing that.
Also,
so, Mr. Henry, come up.
And like it also delegitimizes people who have been harmed and hurt in the church. You're saying that not believing as a result of being hurt and harmed by the church is illegitimate. Don't do that.
Yeah, please don't.
It's victim blaming.
All right, so yeah, Mr. Henry, go ahead and come on up, because I'm not sure why y'all always think that we're hurt by something. That's kind of ridiculous. Anyway,
Gia, don't think I don't see you talking shit. I'll put you down again.
Yeah, I see Gia. We'll get to him. All right, but yeah, Slugger. Like the thing is, I don't know what's the point of putting God on that, because there's no utility there. We already have words for it, so why describe it as a God, especially when it's not something how we understand? Are you saying that the culture should basically our thousands of years of our culture of understanding God one way, as some sort of agent that puts things together or creates miracles? We should forget that concept and put this new concept of our feelings of love and gratitude. That's God. That's what you're saying?
That is God.
All right, why though? Why are we using that and not what we already have?
Which is gratitude.
So you're trying to put that name on one particular thing. Like I said, it's when it's connected to everything, it has a meaning to it.
So human emotion?
It doesn't, though. Human emotion is just that, human emotion. That doesn't make it a God.
Yeah, it's not only human emotion. It's the actual reality, what you see. You touch the tree, you're looking at this, you looked at the sky of Haiti, that part, you connect everything. You ever had a kid, your kid's growing up, any positive thing, when you connect those dots in your conscious, and that is God.
I don't agree with that.
That's just human emotion, bro.
God.
Yeah, that's just human.
That's just a human experience.
Yeah, that's just a human experience, bro. That's really all it is. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I agree with you, it's a beautiful thing, but why would that be a God, not just a human experience?
It's not a beautiful thing. It doesn't make it God.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was when I visited the Bahamas, right? And I saw the beautiful ocean, and I was able to eat some really good conch fritters. Like that was an amazing thing to do. But is that God now? Because I had a good time in Bahamas. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, this is where I stopped trying to explain it, because this is something that you have to connect in your conscious. I mean, I understand what you mean. In a way, I'm kind of agreeing with you guys, particularly because most of the religion is just a story that they put together. You have to understand there was so many language. It translated, and then, I mean, I understand what you mean. It doesn't make sense. The story doesn't make sense. What they reading this from the Bible, it doesn't make sense. In 2026, we at the point that story doesn't make sense. Now that story has a backstory. That's another topic. But there's something that in your conscious that's gonna reveal to you what's really that you understand this reality, and I really believe that whatever you atheist, you Muslim, Christian, whatever you are, that's supposed to take you to that point where your conscious can connect the dot and have an understanding.
I'm very, I don't know, maybe I'm not understanding you well, because when you everything that you're talking about is just like what Kay said. It is our consciousness, but it's just the human experience, bro. Like,
Yeah,
all it
it's
really
just
is.
the human experience, the very positive aspects of the human experience, I would say. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's simply just
The
that. I
human
don't think that
experience.
it's a God.
I know, but you arguing with people, trying to explain to you what God is. Even in their Bible, it says, nobody sees me. When they see me, their eyes can see. So they trying to describe you something that the Bible told them that nobody seen.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
you got
but
like,
that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah,
That they
that's
cannot
kind of
see,
point.
feel, and that this God does not exist in their five senses. Their feeling, their touch, their smell, right? Their sight. It doesn't exist within the five senses because it does not exist. They cannot see it. So why are you believing in something that you cannot see, feel, touch, smell, hear? Things that exist within your five senses.
yeah, that's a true story, because for almost 45 years, I follow that rule that you just said, and it's something that does happen in your conscience. Trust me, man. I've been through it all, lived all this life, but there's a point where something makes sense. It cannot be described. This I already know. I'm not even trying to, to describe that what I understanding that I got. That's impossible. But
let me preface with this, right? Or let me elucidate a little bit. What you're describing is what astronauts describe whenever they go up into space and look at the Earth from above, from space, right? It's called the overlook effect. Yeah, you should look that up. Whenever they do that, they say they felt such an overwhelming sense of emotion and connection to humanity. Like, wow, this pale blue dot is all of who we are. That's all of it. Everyone who ever lived, died, every good person that we know, et cetera, et cetera. You should look up the Carl Sagan quote of the pale blue dot. It's an amazing quote that explains all this. You're explaining the overlook effect, that connection that you have with humanity, that love you have with humanity, to know that this little rock is all we are and all we will ever be, right? Possibly. So that's what you're getting, which is an amazing feeling. I've had it before too. Again, look at the stars and realize how small we are compared to the rest of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the same feeling, right?
I had it as a child.
Yes, but
the sky has gotten more polluted since then, which is why I said as a child. But
exactly, there's no more fireflies, bro. I'm so mad. There's no more fireflies. My God, I
what,
used to
there's
love
no more
fireflies.
fireflies?
Well, they're not extinct yet, but they're declining because of light pollution. Because
I don't like that. I'm like, I used to love the fireflies.
I love fireflies. When I was a kid,
they're so
love
neat.
fireflies,
I'm like,
man.
and you could put them in the little
in the jars. Oh man, that was so fun. That was so fun to do.
I'm gonna give y'all some props. Do what you do, because people need to talk about this. Either way, I got to go back to temporary slavery. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Slavery job.
Slavery with more steps. I got you.
Yeah, it's temporary slavery. I should say temporary slavery, but y'all be up talking. There's nothing wrong with talking about it, because people need to talk about it.
Hey, not a problem. Hey, I appreciate you, Slim.
All right, no problem.
All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all. I'm sorry, Kay, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna introduce Haywood.
Oh yeah. Haywood's gonna be next, but I do have a caller. Let me get to them really quickly.
Okay? So you wanted the caller, then Haywood.
Yeah, I'm gonna call her Haywood, and we'll do.
No, because I think the caller was before Haywood, right? Before Haywood came up here.
Yeah. I think call was before Haywood. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the caller. Remember, guys, the caller cannot hear you, so everybody stay on mute. Okay? Appreciate y'all. All right, 412. I appreciate you being so patient with me. I do apologize for the wait. Can I get your name one more time, please? Caller, you there? 412?
This message has been transcribed.
Yeah, he hung up then. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get to Haywood. Haywood, how's it going, Haywood? Are you at least 18? And that looks like that looks like a what's that thing called again? A Gothic church in your background, if I'm not mistaken. Are you Catholic, Orthodox?
Yes, I'm over 18 and I am a Roman Catholic.
There you go. Yeah, because I recognize the building in the background.
It's St. Peter in front of the Vatican, the Basilica.
Yeah, the cathedral. That's what the word I was looking for. I was looking for cathedral. Yeah. All right, cool.
Well, thank you for coming to the panel, Haywood. Do you have a reason to believe in a God? Oh yeah, I do. Do you have a reason? Can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Haywood, before you start, give me a second.
Call from
Daniel.
Hey, Daniel. Sorry, but yeah, it's the same person. Hey, Daniel, I do apologize that I hung up on you. Haywood, would you mind staying on with me for a second? Hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, Daniel, how's it going, Daniel? Are you at least 18? Well, you said you were 22, right?
What's that?
No, he said he was 26.
26. All right, Daniel, you got to turn down the TV in the background because I'm hearing an echo. All right, Daniel. Do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Well, what about the digestive system? That's a pretty incredible thing. The fact that you could eat from nature and then gain all the resources and completely get rid of the waste. That's like the perfect system. Wouldn't you say it was almost intelligently designed?
Daniel, are you really going to sit here and say, because we take a shit, therefore God exists? Wow.
Well, I'm like, it's a perfect.
Well, what God are you talking about? Are you talking about the Christian God, or
we could take their religion and wipe our ass with it?
You got to define what you mean by God.
Because that's what I'm actually asking. Like, which God are you talking about? Actually,
none of them. God's just a name we came up with for it. It doesn't need to be labeled that. It could just be some creator that this universe is created by some conscious form.
All right. So let me understand something that they're trying to say. Because we eat fruits and vegetables and steaks, and then a few hours later we take a massive dump. Therefore, there's a God. That really doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like I'm not. I am going.
Actually, we poop out the food we ate the day before. The food we're eating now pushes through what was already in your intestine.
That's a bizarre conversation. I'm not even going to entertain no more.
Listen,
that is so bizarre.
I'm like, but you know what? That's actually the most hilarious argument for God that I have seen in such a long time. Hey, but by the way, I didn't drop you, by the way. So if you're still you can come up.
She followed me. I think she's going to come back, basically. So she probably had to run and come back. All right, not a problem. All right, we're going to get back to not a problem, Haywood. She probably has to run and come back, but come back whenever you can, Haywood. All right, no problem. All right, so Haywood, come back up. But right now we're gonna talk to Gia for a second. Gia, I hope we can go and have a conversation that's better now. Now, if I'm understanding your last argument, you're saying that the stars were put here by a deliberate agent. I was trying to get to how do you actually know that's true? How do we prove that?
Oh, we know that's true because the Bible says the heavens declare the glory of the Lord.
The Bible is not evidence.
And the firmament his handiwork.
Okay, so
that's not evidence. That's a claim.
That's a claim, right? I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, sure. The Bible can say that, right? But that doesn't necessarily make it true. Just because the Bible says it.
When I was a kid, I read about the seven dwarves and I'm like and that princess, that little Disney story. Is that a fact? Because a book said so.
Can y'all pause me real quick?
I'll answer your question.
I'm sorry. Yeah, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Pause me real quick. Give me 1 second. Hey, 412, how's it going? Can I get your name and age, please?
I'm Lucy, and I'm 21.
Lucy, 21. Do you think you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
I wasn't done talking.
The Greek gods have nice abs and they're hot.
Okay, yeah, that was a kid. I was just making sure that the person was I was just making sure that was a person that was serious. All right, so
I got if you want me to answer the question, I'll answer you and the mod at the same time.
Gia, hold on, give me a second. So I was just answering the call just to make sure it was a serious guest. but we're gonna get back to you.
Right.
All right. So you said that the Bible proclaims something. Our position is that our position is that just because the Bible says that doesn't necessarily make it true. Why do you think
And
that?
then I brought up, for example, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I heard you
reading that as a child.
I heard
is that
you, but
true?
then,
Because the Bible. Because
right.
that
I'll
book
answer
said
you
so?
right now.
Okay,
because now you got to say what else does the Bible say? The Bible says the wages of sin is death. I have a question for you.
Care.
Will you die?
Will
you die at the end of your life, or will you live forever?
Okay,
as far as
we do not care about any of those things. At the end of the day, the Bible.
No. You said it's not true.
All right, so Gia,
the Bible says that every human being will die.
And it's not true because it cannot be proven.
All right.
Aren't people dead already?
Gia, pause. Listen. Okay, I'm gonna answer both your questions. All right, so your first question was like we have to look at what else the Bible says, right? You said the Bible says that the wages of sin are death. Again,
is death.
Hold on, the wages of sin is death. Again, the concept of sin comes from the Bible or Eastern or Middle Eastern religions, right? That's where the concept of sin comes from. And I understand that's what the Bible says, but number one, what even is sin?
God is real,
right?
But is it true?
Hold on. For me to say that is true, you need to actually show that sin is an actual thing first.
Okay.
And for you to hold on, wait.
Go ahead.
For you to show that sin is an actual thing, you need to show that there's a God that made that in the first place, and you haven't done that.
I understand, but then what about what the Bible says about it's appointed unto a man once to die?
What?
And then the judgment. It is appointed unto a man, mankind, once to die.
The Bible.
In other words, everyone must die.
Right.
No,
so everyone is going to die.
The Bible is a claim; it is not evidence.
But
so
is it true? Is it true that everyone must die?
Okay. I'm gonna put you because you keep on Okay, the Bible is a claim; it is not evidence. You have not proven it is true because all you are just saying is because the Bible says so that it is true and it is a fact. That is not how this works.
Right.
So here's how this is going to work. You're going to prove to us that your God is real, and you're going to do so. With evidence. Evidence meaning empirical evidence, and I want it to exist in the five senses. I want it to exist within our sight, our hearing, our smell, our taste, and our feeling. If it does not exist in the five senses, it does not exist.
Right. So Gia, this is what I was gonna say, right? I'm going to.
I want to answer her question.
I got you. So because
so let me answer her question.
Gia, I got you. All right. So
this is not a monologue.
I know it's not a monologue, Gia, but let me host my own live.
Okay.
All right. So Gia, this is what I was gonna say to your question. If you're saying that the Bible says that everyone is going to die, yes, that is true. However, the Bible can say things that are true, right? The Bible can say that Egypt existed. Egypt definitely existed. That is true. That doesn't mean that the supernatural claims that it makes are also true. Like, for example, the Bible says that everyone is going to die. True. Then your next statement was everybody will face judgment. That part you have to show is true. Yes, everybody will die, but can you show that there will be a supernatural judge? Can you show that?
I'll answer your question.
That's the part that
I'll show you right
show.
now.
And you need to do it.
I'll show you right now.
I got you, Gia. You need to do it the way that case said, through empirical evidence. How do you do that?
Right, with the five
and it
senses.
has to exist in the five senses.
I understand. I understood the first time.
No. I'm going to interrupt.
You're interrupting me.
No, I can interject. I am a mod. So again, I am only rephrasing what bringing up what I said again. It has to be empirical evidence. The Bible does not count. It is the claim. Empirical evidence, and it has to exist in the five senses.
Yes, I will do that right now.
Our touch, our smell, and our feeling.
Yes,
if it
ma'am.
does not
I heard you the
exist in the
first
five
time.
senses, then it is invalid.
Okay, thank you. So now let me answer your question. So in the five senses, I will go back to what the host said when I came on the live, and I heard him say that he was thinking about committing suicide. Okay, I'll show you how this operates in the five senses. Why did the host want to commit suicide? because he has no peace, in his heart. He still doesn't have any peace. The Bible says that Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and the wicked doesn't have any peace. So the fact that you don't have any peace in your heart right now testifies that there is a God, because he said you would have no peace without him.
Okay,
Can I answer him? Can I answer him? Because he's basically attacking me personally now.
Yes,
all right,
he is, but also again,
it's not an attack, my man. I'm telling you what you said.
All right, so yeah, it is what I said, but I never said I was wicked or I didn't have peace.
You are.
Hold on. Now you're attacking me personally.
All right, so
that's not an insult. Hold on, Gia. You need to actually follow the conversation. And one of the reasons why people don't appreciate Christians is because you just did something hateful. You called me wicked, but I've never harmed. Hold on. I've never harmed anyone.
You attacked him.
Hold on. Pause for me. Gia, before you came on this live, did you know who I was? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I still don't know.
Wait. Okay, exactly. So if you don't know who I am, how can you call me wicked? I've never harmed anybody in my life, bro. Hold on, stop. Shut up. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
You shut up.
I've never harmed anybody in my life, bro.
Somebody touched.
I've never harmed anybody. I've never harmed or touched or hit anybody in my fucking life. So how can you say shut the fuck up? Shut the fuck up. How dare you? How dare you? How fucking dare you? You come up here and you pass that judgment on me. I'm not Epstein. I am not Trump.
You are a
shut the fuck up, you bitch ass nigga.
Now you're dropped, and I'm like, and if I see you in the comments, I'm gonna block you permanently.
All right, let's move on.
I think the next is because we were trying to talk to Haywood before she left, so let's go to Haywood.
We'll talk to Haywood.
Hello. Wait, I was in here before, but
no, she was here before. You should have to drop in and come back.
Oh, okay.
Gia, you getting blocked.
We promised her a spot.
Gia's getting blocked. This is what I do here. This is what I'm gonna do. Listen, I have no problem talking to Christians, talking to Muslims, talking to anybody. But I never talk to somebody personally. I never do that. If you're gonna come up here I'm saying that people are wicked or polluted or anything like that because they don't believe the same way you do, I don't do that. I don't dehumanize people. Now, I believe that most Christians are good people, right? That don't dehumanize. But Christians like that, they do not get any of my patience. You do not come up here and dehumanize
Christians
people.
like that are the majority of them, though, which is why I don't fuck with them like that.
Nah.
All right, we're gonna move on. All right, whose background is that? I need y'all to mute up for me real quick. All right, Haywood, how's it going, Haywood? Gotcha.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear Haywood. All right, Haywood, how's it going?
What's good?
Hi. Thanks for letting me back in. Sorry, I got into a conversation and I had to drop. But if everything's good, then I might just start. That's fair.
Yeah, sure. What do you think is a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah. So, are you guys familiar with the transcendental argument for God, otherwise known as TAG?
Just a bit.
Okay. Well, hopefully I can use this in a good way. In a strong way here. So, and I noticed. Sorry if is your name KK?
Yes, my name is KK. I'm
KK.
I'm okay. Here. Yes.
Yes. I noticed you said in a couple of your previous debates that the only things that exist are those which you can apply your five senses to, and that's.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's what I would actually argue with, because I don't pertain to that. I'm not just going to say, oh, my argument is that God just exists. I think we can agree that other things exist because we use them in our everyday life, and I'll tie it back to God. I'm not just going to say God exists. Okay. So so what I understand when we observe this natural world, we see two types of objects, concrete and abstract. So concrete objects are objects that we can apply our five senses to. That's how we know it exists. So every object needs a way that we know it exists. So Does this lamppost exist? Well, can I apply my 5 senses to? No? Well, I'm a schizophrenic. Yes? Okay, it exists.
Hey,
Right?
Wood, pause
Can
me
we
real quick.
agree there?
Pause me.
From
AK.
Caller, can I get your name, age, please?
Hey, my name is AK and I'm 34.
All right, pause. You're gonna hear hold music. I'll get right back to you. All right, cool. Haywood, go ahead and continue. But I think I already know where this is going. Are you saying that abstract things also exist?
Yeah, and I would focus specifically on the laws of logic and the laws of mathematics.
Okay, so if abstract thing exists, does Frieza exist?
Does what?
Does Frieza exist?
I don't know what Frieza is.
You ever seen Dragon Ball Z?
Frieza is?
No, I have not watched that. I do.
All right, you ever watch Naruto?
I know who Naruto is.
Does he exist?
No, because my argument is not all abstract things exist.
How do you?
Only some things.
All right, which abstract things do exist, and how do we know?
Yeah, so the laws of mathematics exist. That's
Where?
because they don't exist in a concrete world. They exist in their own abstract world.
How do you know that?
But because we both know that 2 + 2 = 4. We use it in our everyday life. We've discovered it.
Right,
and
I
if you say
understand that.
2 + 2,
I understand
Yeah,
that. What I'm asking is about the abstract.
we can do the math on a calculator, and that still exists within the 5 senses.
Right.
We can see that 2 + 2 = 4.
But what I'm asking, hold on, everybody pause. Because your background is super loud. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am on
That's it.
a walk. I do
That's
apologize.
it right
I'll
there.
mute when
Oh,
I'm
that's
done
it?
talking.
Okay, I might drop.
I'm like,
May
I keep on putting you on.
I ask? May I add a point to?
No, it's not your
No,
turn.
no, not yet.
All right,
Stay,
so
Stone. I promise you'll get your time, but y'all got to stay on. I'm like, again, I've been keeping putting you on mute for the whole time because I try to keep everyone on mute until it's their turn. If you come off mute again, I'm just gonna put you in the comments because you keep on coming off mute when you ain't supposed to be coming off mute.
yeah,
Just really quick question of how this is going is, so are you guys like going with one guest at a time? Are we allowed to chime in the conversation? Or?
We're not. It's not full. It's not full panel yet.
Yeah,
we're going one at a time.
Yeah, so it's one at a time until I figure out how to do this panel thing over on the computer. I'm gonna figure out in a second. All right, so you're saying that these abstract things exist in an abstract world. How do we show that this abstract world is even a thing? What happened to God logic? God logic, you come back. I'm not sure why you dropped. I was gonna open up a panel in a second. Anyway.
Logic, you can come. I'm like, I didn't drop you.
Yeah, I didn't drop him either. I mean, I was gonna open up a panel soon anyway. All right, yeah. So that is Haywood.
It's not open panel yet.
All right, so yeah, I didn't kick him, y'all. I didn't kick him. All right, so that is Haywood. Haywood is not.
I didn't kick him either. I actually, because Logic was actually very respectful to the panel for most of the time, so I would have no reason to kick him.
Yeah, I didn't kick him. So, all right, so Haywood, go ahead. What you were saying?
Did you ask me a question? How do we know these exist?
Yeah, when you said that these things exist in their own abstract world, how do we even get to this abstract world or know that this abstract world is even a thing? Because from as far as what we can ascertain, right? These things like number 1, number 2, etc. There's simply things that we made up. You know what I mean? So like, how do we show they exist externally?
Yes. So I have a kind of like 2 responses in one to this, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. So the first thing is, we know that they exist in their own world, because you can't find the letter 2, right? Mm-hmm. You can apply it. You can say, oh, I have 2 apples, but sorry, I said letter 2. My bad. The number 2. Mm-hmm. You can't actually like kick the number 2, right? Mm-hmm. You can only apply it to certain things. So that's the first response. The second response is that these are universal. That's what makes these so special, is that there is nowhere in the universe, no place, no time, where 2 + 2 will not equal 4. It's all the time. And we don't have to be universal. And that's actually a point to my argument, is that because we are not universal, we couldn't create these things.
Right. But the thing is, like, we did actually make up numbers, right? Like 2 didn't have to be 2. It could have been Ferber-Global for all we know, right? And then Ferber-Global plus Ferber-Global will also always equal to Turbo-Merble everywhere. You know what I'm saying? These are just simply concepts that we came up with.
Yeah.
But no one is going to sit here and say that Ferber-Global now exists because it's a word I just made up. Like, it's no one's going to say that. So why we do the same thing for things like 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Yes, because what you actually just changed was the wording of it. It doesn't matter if we call it 2 or if we call it global, or if we call it a dose, right? We already call it different things in different languages. But the I want, for lack of a better term, the concept of 2 is still the same universally.
Right.
And the reason that we
the question is, like, how do we actually show that to be true? Because we came up with that concept. How do we know it? How do we know it? Well, if you're saying that we did not come up with the concept, how do you show that to be true?
Because they're universal.
You're just wrong about that.
But you're hold on, everybody be quiet. But the thing is that's kind of a circular argument, isn't it?
Let's say
it's not.
Okay, how is it not circular? Because
no, it's not.
Yes,
it's not.
Okay, how is okay? So
it's.
I need people to go one at a time, bro. Y'all keep interrupting.
One at a time, y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's not, because my point here is that we did not create 2 + 2 equals 4, because 2 + 2 equals 4 universally and infinitely, and we are not universal. And we are definitely finite. So we didn't create these. That's not circular.
So you're saying that that the number 2 exists even if there's no humans around to say the number 2?
Correct.
How do you know that?
Because so I'll just ask this question and then we can
No. How do you know that?
Because 2 + 2 = 4 universally.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's circular. Exactly what I'm saying. It's a circular. You just made you just repeated. Hold on. Stop. You just repeated the same thing. Stop. You just repeated the same thing that you said in the beginning. These things are created. These things are universal. And we didn't create them. And when I asked them, how do you know that? How do you know they existed before us? You said because they're
we're
universal.
Not universal.
Because we're not universal.
I said because we're not universal.
Right. All right. We're not universal.
So there's no circularity.
I understand that we're not universal, but how do you know that 2 + 2 existed before we did?
Because they are universal.
How do you know that?
Because
we're not universal. This is a circle. That's what I mean.
Because it's an order. No, we can. So you're saying that there can be a place and there can be a time where 2 + 2 will not equal 4?
I don't know, because we came up with the rule. Humans came up with 2 + 2 = 4. We came up with that. We made that up.
We didn't come up with the rule.
Okay, so where did 2 come from?
God. That's my point.
And how do you know that? That's what I'm saying. How do you know that?
Because it's universal.
It was just a linguistic 2 is just a numerical representation, and it's tied into linguistics. It's not. That's all that is. Like I could answer the question if you would allow me to speak. But,
go ahead.
Yeah. So when we bring up the example of let's say we say 2 + 2 is 4, but on another planet they say 1.5 plus 1.5 is such and such, whatever, or 2 + 2 is 5. It doesn't matter. Like that's like a linguistic thing. It's a way of trying to communicate a value. That's all it is. That value is still the same value, no matter where you go. And we've allowed ourselves to use our senses. And that's another point I wanted to make here. When we talk about there's abstract and there's not abstract, you can determine and critique the possibilities and probabilities of abstract through the interpretation of the physical, which would be our 5 senses. That's like simple things. Like even when we're talking about values, right? Like you're saying, okay, well, because if we didn't exist, 2 + 2 wouldn't equal 4. We wouldn't know that. No, we wouldn't know that. But because we exist, we've been able to interpret values. If I see 2 different trees, even if another planet or species calls it 3 trees, it's still 2 values. Like we gotta detach the numerical terminology, which would be the actual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we gotta distinguish the difference between that and a value.
All
A
right, so
value is like
Stone,
a single thing.
Stone. Like, I don't even disagree with any of that, right? What I'm saying is that this
Yeah.
doesn't imply that a God exists just because values do.
Sorry, my internet cut out.
No problem.
There, repeat
No problem. What I was saying is that I don't disagree with any of what you're saying. Yeah, those values will be there even if we call it 1 and an alien calls it 3. It will still be. We're still trying to understand the same value. The thing is, what I'm saying is that doesn't imply that a God exists just because the value is there.
No, so I would say that certain aspects of mathematics, and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a mathematic genius. I'm not. I'm okay at math. I can do structural physics, but I'm not like insane. I don't know quantum physics, but I can read and research and do that sort of stuff. And from what I see in mathematics, there is a universal connection between matter and other matter in the universe that we're in. Even when we talk about simple concepts, like concepts that aren't even like, they're difficult, but like the simplicity of the explanation, like the Fibonacci sequence, for example, and it's a common piece of geometry we see in a lot of living things. Like, that means that because there is some sort of trend occurring in mathematics and also physical geometry and patterns that we see and we are able to observe with real science, that shows there is a connection between matter, whether it's living or not, in this universe or on our world right now, and we're trying to discover other planets and expand our field on that. Just because we can't understand something and we can't see it with our current intelligence and our current evolution doesn't mean that there isn't a probability of it existing. That's why I don't like personally when people say, for example, God doesn't exist. No, God might not exist. God might also exist. That's just a creator. That's something that has created the universe. It's not.
Yeah, sure. I get all that.
Mathematics prove otherwise. Mathematics does not prove that God doesn't exist. That's
right. I get you. Like, mathematics doesn't prove that a God exists, and I'll also say he doesn't prove that it does, because math is largely something that we invent. Right? We make up the rules and discover things about the universe. The Fibonacci sequence, like, for example, on what you brought up.
I disagree.
Sure.
I think math is not something we create. It's something we discover, and we represent it through our own creative numerical terminology.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, that's also a common thing to understand.
What I'm saying is that there are literally modern examples of invented math.
Yeah, like there's invented concepts that are of existing of existing math. Like, math exists. We discover those values and the connection between them and how they relate with each other and what it means. Like this is simple things. Like, even when we're talking about like civilization, like, we create structures, right? We use values to estimate and be able to determine accuracy, and with our values we've been able to determine those accuracies and actually create something. But the
thing is, Ape, like, what I'm saying is that when I say that math is largely invented, right, is because you can see through different civilizations, even though they all independently discovered the Pythagorean theorem, but Pythagorean wasn't the first. You see how they all did it in different ways, like for example, how the Mesopotamians used to count in, I think they used to count in base 6, and the Hebrews were in base 7 or something like that, and we're in base 10. You see what I'm saying? So
I've heard of the older units of measurement as well.
Exactly.
But
what I'm saying is that
hold
on. What I'm saying is that none of this shows that a God exists. It just shows that humans recognize patterns, and we make up words and labels in order to fit them into our universe. That's all that means. Even the Fibonacci sequence is like overstated. There's like selection bias in that too.
No, I think that
it's not everywhere.
It's about the frequency. Oh, it's about the frequency of the pattern. When you see a high frequency of it, it definitely means something. Like there's a way.
It can mean nothing though.
Relation.
It can mean nothing. That's what I'm saying.
there is a way to determine relation.
Stone, there could be natural explanations for high frequencies of those kinds of patterns there. But I do want to jump in and say that math is just a description of the reality that we are presented with.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I wanted to get your take on this there, Stone. If I take one stone, right, and I put it down on a table, and then I take a second stone and I put it on the table. Now you have two stones. You've basically done 1 + 1, and it's equals 2, right?
Yep. I already know what you're going to ask next, and I have the answer already. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't need to ask. Just give me the answer.
Yeah. So you're going to say, oh well, if there's one stone on the table, and then I put another stone on the table, you can call it 2 stones, but isn't it just an amount of one stone? Is that what you're going to say?
Nope. Try not to play Nostradamus.
Sorry. It's just a very typical thing that people bring up in this sort of conversation.
Don't try to play Nostradamus on this, okay? So
no, it's fine.
Right. So my question was, in that process of adding one stone to another stone to get 2 stones, where's God?
I never said there's God. All I'm saying, I'm not saying there's God. I'm saying there's nothing in models of mathematics and physics and anything we've discovered on a quantum level that disproves the existence of a creator.
We don't have to disprove. We don't. That's not the goal. No. It's okay. So here it is. Hold on. So the burden of proof is on the person that's claiming that God does exist and that God is needed for mathematics and all this kind of stuff, right? The burden of proof is on the person claiming that God is necessary for that. If there is no need to insert God into the explanation for what makes 1 + 1 = 2, then you know there's no need to posit a God, right? So it's a non-starter from the beginning.
I can definitely agree with you somewhat on that, but I think that my main point is when I'm talking about mathematics and I'm talking about us recognizing patterns and all these sort of things and us being able to see that matter is communicating not intelligently, but matter in a way is connected with other matter, right? It's a common thing in physics. Like matter
is connected with other matter. Matter communicates. Like you're
no. You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding my point. I'm saying to you that
maybe you're just not being clear.
Everything in this universe is connected somewhat on a physical level, is it not?
I'm not sure what that means.
Are we not spinning in a galaxy and react and different planets are reacting through gravity with each other and magnetic fields?
Stone, we are, but none of this. I don't think any of this implies that a God exists.
Yeah, but I don't think any of it implies that God can't exist.
Right. I'm not saying, but we're I'm of the position. I'm not saying it can't, unless it's like one of those tri-omni contradictory God, all benevolent, all knowing, and omnipresent. Unless it's something like
religious and something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I would say, that can't exist because that's contradictory. But if you're gonna say something like the Molecule Man from Marvel or Q from Star Trek, yeah, sure, maybe that type of creature could exist. For all intents and purposes, those are gods, right? So those things probably could exist. We never discovered the entire universe yet. So yeah, sure, maybe Q from the Q continuum is somewhere out there and has really cool technology that can rearrange molecules to whatever he wants. That for all intents and purposes, that would be a god, right? Sure, that could exist. But until we have the evidence of such a thing, why believe it?
No, I think that I see where you're going with this. Yeah, why believe it? But I think that it's important to also want to search for the creation and the point in which creation happened, to see if there is a creator, because that's the whole. Even in quantum physics, the whole idea of quantum physics is discovering the every function of our universe and how our universe is actually working, and that is what leads us to discover more in terms of how creation occurred. Right?
Well, so
we have theories. I understand that, but
there's a problem. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a problem with your framing here, because you're loading up your entire conversation.
How am I loading up my entire conversation?
By calling it creation.
It is. It is creation.
Right.
It is.
So,
How is it
Stone,
not?
I'm sorry. Okay, can I pause real quick for me, real quick? Stone, let's do this because every time someone says creation, I want y'all to actually clarify what y'all mean by that. Do you mean a natural process that makes something, or a deliberate agent putting something together?
No, a natural process that makes something.
Okay, cool. So that's what you mean by creation. Like you can say rain is a creation, but it's a natural process. It's just a consequence of physics and chemistry. Okay.
It's reactions in chemistry. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
So that's what you're trying to say. All right. Because the way that you were using it in that sentence, it implied like something deliberate. That's what
sorry. Obviously, I need to be more. Again, like I'm doing this. Like I'm parked right now by my house, and I'm doing this just because I got off work. So it's not like.
Hey, Stone, can you pause me real quick? I'm sorry because we've been at this for a second, but pause me real quick.
Yeah.
It's Time hasn't spoken yet. Neither has BMW. Knuckles, welcome to the stage. I already know what side you on. I appreciate you being here, Knuckles. It's Time. If you're still there, go ahead and get off mute so we can talk.
But I'm a BBW. Let me stop playing.
BMW, how's it going, BMW? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Thank you for having me here.
We can't hear you, BMW.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I appreciate that.
So
All right.
I want to know your position first. You don't believe God exists?
No, I don't believe in a God. Give me a second. Armageddon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, there you go.
Go ahead. Go
No.
ahead and allow BMW to talk, and I'll chime in next if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I just needed to know if you were over 18.
I'm like, is Armageddon? It's time.
Yeah,
That's the arm.
Yes.
That's what the arm is for. Armageddon.
Armageddon.
I'm like, see, I did not even realize.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. The only reason I got you. The only reason I'm introducing everybody is because
I've been calling you a time arm, and it was the whole thing.
No worries. No worries at all.
Yeah. I'm just introducing everybody because I got to get out of here in about maybe 25 minutes. So I just want to get the conversation through. All right. BMW. Yes. Myself, Godless Engineer, Knuckles, and Kay do not believe in a God or think that one exists. I'm not sure if Quell is on the same wavelength. Quell, are you at least 18? And do you believe in any type of gods?
Yes, I'm 18, and I don't know what I believe anymore. I mean, I
Cool. That's not a problem. Pause for me.
What you say, because maybe you could.
He's deconstructing.
Are you deconstructing?
May I say one statement before I leave? Because I'm about to leave right now. Get to leave the space.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Go ahead.
So just real quick to sum up just to conclude what I was talking about when I meant creation, right? Like I defined what creation meant, which meant like a chemical reaction or a reaction between matter and certain finite things, right? Reaction between things in the universe. So even that, like we have chemicals, we have chemicals that react with each other and create something, right? Mm-hmm. Something else, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, it has also created those chemicals. Or maybe those chemicals always existed, but that's something for us to figure out, right? My point is, to get to that point, I think it's motivating to have an idea that
we figured out a lot of it, buddy.
There's a creation.
By the way, before you go, we definitely figured out a lot of that, what you were asking. So
yeah, so that's my point. My point is, under our current understanding of physics, there's nothing that can disprove the existence of a creating entity. Like that. That's my point.
All right, cool. Not a problem. All right, so BMW, yes, we I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any gods. Godless is also an atheist, obviously, as well as Knuckles and KK. We don't believe in any gods. Haywood is a Catholic, believes in a God. I believe Armageddon also believes in a God, if I'm not mistaken. All right, BMW, go ahead. What was your question? Do you think you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I don't think God exists. Based on the experiences. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, let's talk about morality. You believe that you are able to demonstrate between something right and something wrong, right?
Sure.
So where do you think that consciousness comes from?
That comes from my basic human empathy and reasoning and living in society, basically.
So don't you think it also points out to points to the moral lawgiver, person who gives you that? Because
No.
for you to know that something what I've done is wrong, it all right. It means that you know that somebody or something is there to
Not
judge you
necessarily.
by
Not
what by
necessarily.
your actions, right?
Not necessarily, because we have we have empathy. That's the number one thing, but number two, we grew up in a society that tells us what can be right or wrong. Like for example, I grew up in American society, right? So here, being LGBTQ isn't necessarily wrong, but even here in America, it depends on how you grew up. If you grew up a Southern Baptist, they're gonna say that it's wrong. If you grew up an Irish Catholic, they're gonna say that it's wrong. If you grew up like I did, someone whose parents are from Haiti, that society said that it's wrong. But if you grew up over on the West Coast in California, even if you are a Christian, a lot of them not gonna say that it's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So it really depends on your society.
Okay. Now this is I want to ask you. You have a body, right? Like you have a body, right?
I have what?
You have a body, and your body is mortal. You have a body.
Oh, a body. Yeah, I have a body.
Do you also have a soul?
Does my body have a soul?
Yes.
I don't believe that because I have no evidence to believe that I have a soul.
So you don't have a soul? You believe you don't have a soul?
I don't think. I mean, unless you're using soul in the African American concept, then yeah, I have soul. But if you're using it in the supernatural concept, no, I don't have a soul. We're all just sacks of meat.
So you believe after you go after death you cease to exist?
Yeah, basically I'm gone. My consciousness goes away, my consciousness ends, and that's it. I die. Now it's sad.
So
I would love to keep living for the next 300 years because I want to see humans walk on Mars. Yeah, I mean, but I'm probably never gonna see that. So yeah, I die.
I was wondering if I
So
could
I
ask a
believe
quick clarifying question of you, BMW. Could you tell us what you mean by soul? Like, what is a? I mean, what would your definition of a soul be necessarily?
I think this is where now we bring the consciousness of you knowing something right and wrong. Because if for you to know that what you're doing is right or what you're doing is wrong, it means that you have a soul. You have a
No,
soul.
it just means that you're a member of a society that has those concepts.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I would say. BMW. It just means that you're in a society that has those concepts. Like for example, we all know about the mustache man, right? The 999, the guy who got rid of 6 million people. Him in that society, they believe that erasing these people from the planet was not wrong, and people who were born in that society also believe that.
But it was. We know
But
that
it was
now.
wrong. Yeah, exactly. But it was wrong, which is why he had to be put up. He had to be stopped. So
yeah, even people in that society knew it was wrong, but obviously they were under threat of all sorts of things, even if they were quote unquote pure blood.
Correct. See what I mean? BMW, it really depends on the society. And not only that, like I said, humans are born with basic human empathy. It has to be brainwashed out of you for you not to have it. You're not born not caring about people. A good example of this is children, right? You can get a 3-year-old whose parents are in the KKK. You put that 3-year-old around a black 3-year-old, they're gonna start playing with each other. It's the parents who put them apart, or at least the KKK parents who's gonna put them apart. But at 3 years old, he's gonna start playing with the other kid, right? That's just how children are. They have basic empathy. They're born with it. You're all born with it, unless you're a psychopath. But most people are not born with ASPD. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So right from wrong, basically from your empathy. You don't want to hurt other people. And we evolved that way because it's a better way to survive. Antagonizing your neighbors is not a good way for you to survive, right? So humans evolved empathy in order to survive. Do you disagree?
BMW? BMW?
Yeah.
Do you disagree with what the host said?
I think I do disagree with a lot of things, but
But you're not
Because
sure how
I
to
think
answer
the
it. Yeah,
question is,
I get it. You're not sure how to respond to it. That's fine. We can move on to the next thing. What else did you have before we gotta go ahead and get out of here, because I got about maybe 15 minutes before my wife kills me. What else you got before we get out of here, bro?
Hey, Volcy, I'm gonna drop now. So
not a problem. Haywood, I appreciate you being up.
thank you guys for having me on, and thank you for being respectful and everything.
Not a problem. Join next time.
Of course.
Hey, Cherry, how's it going, Cherry? I appreciate you, Cherry.
Hi, sis. What's good?
Yeah, Cherry. Are you in the Signal group chat? Because I sent the group chat to everybody who was on the list. Everyone who's on that call list, I sent it to everybody. So I hope you're in the group chat now.
I didn't see it yet, but hey, y'all.
Hey, how's it going?
I know.
Hey,
me and Indigo. Hey, guys. Me and Indigo just ordered our atheist shirts from Skeptical today to wear to the cookout.
Okay. No, I actually made shirts like specific shirts. Y'all didn't see the link in the group chat?
No. Okay. I haven't been checking my notifications, y'all, because I'm sorry about that, y'all. Right. I'm gonna check on that.
No, all good. I'm gonna send everybody the link again, because I work really hard on those designs, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and send them again. And I'm gonna order one so I can wear it so y'all can see. All right, but let's talk to Quell. I think Quell is deconstructing. Quell, how's it going? You said that you are over 18 and you're not sure what you believe at the moment. Would you say that you're deconstructing at the moment?
Yeah, but I guess because I grew up Christian, so a lot of what we learn, especially when it comes down to morality, we developed it. Mm-hmm. We've developed it as people, and a lot of what we develop as a religion is based off of what we choose as a collective. So a lot of the things that people think that they know is based off of what we learn from other people, and not necessarily that it comes from an outside entity. So I'm kind of with you where I can't say that there isn't intelligent design that for the universe where it's actually been created or whatever. But I can't say that what we know from the religious text is accurate. So, I just think that a lot of people have emotional attachment to it. And I just go based off of my experience with growing up in the church, because most of the time they don't have good answers to give you. Mm-hmm. It's normally just pray about it and God's going to make it better. And I grew up really confused about a whole lot of things and didn't really get any kind of clear answer behind anything. And I had to really do some research on my own and figure out what that meant for me.
Yeah, man. So where are you in your journey now? You're more on the on like these religions have basically are a bunch of crap, or where are you now?
I think I have like more Buddhist leanings towards
Buddhism is cool.
Towards things. Yeah.
Have you ever looked into the African ones like Ife or Bukanga?
Oh no, I haven't. I'm open to it though. I just don't really like attaching myself and saying this is what I am. I like learning whatever I can learn.
Yeah, of course. You don't have to attach yourself to it. But yeah, Ife is very, very interesting. And voodoo, because I'm Haitian, so Haitian voodoo is actually a derivative of those West African religions, especially West African voodoo and Ife. So they're pretty cool. You should check them out, especially the spirits and the personifications that they have. Yeah, man. Yeah. So check those out.
And I'll just say this though. I mean, I think that I'm more open, and I think the teachings that are in the Bible are very insightful if you can just take away your emotional attachment to it. And the basic thing that I get from the Bible is basic human treatment. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at the teachings of Jesus, that's basically what he was teaching is learning to treat one another with dignity and respect. And I just don't personally. I think a lot of times people just get so attached to it and they want to be special and feel a part of something that it's just so easy to get it. I want to be a part of the in crowd with it, and I'm just not with that. I just don't like blindly believing things like that.
Yeah, of course. But and the thing is, I would say when it even comes to that, right? Like it's like you're right. It's all about treating people well, but we don't even need Christianity for that. You know what I mean? We know how to treat each other well anyway. And not only that, like if you look at the Bible, a lot of it was prescribed towards Israelites themselves. They didn't even damn about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's really why I say like it's not necessarily the best guide, but if someone does take it to guide them and takes lessons from it, sure. Like you can make, David and Goliath a story about overcoming obstacles very, very easily. You can make Jonah and the well a story about procrastination. Yeah, I mean, you can make Adam and Eve a story about not being ready to have sex. You can do all that, you know what I'm saying? Because there's consequences that comes with that. So like, yeah, you can make moral stories out of all of them. It's just at my point in life, I'm like, it's not necessary to use that. You see what I'm saying? Cherry, Godless, do y'all have anything to add in?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna add, like, I think my favorite story where Jesus is really exuding that whole love your neighbor and like wholesome family values is where he looks a woman in the face, calls her a bitch, and makes her beg. Like, I mean, that's a timely story. It's a tale told all this time. Yeah,
there is that. Yeah.
I love how Jesus makes people beg to be healed and everything like that. That's pretty odd. I mean, that's pretty loving, right, Quell?
Well, guys. Oh, my bad, Quell.
No, I get what you're saying. I think there can be another aspect to that, because I think if you just think about what people do now, is that people don't make efforts for themselves to actually get what they want. A lot of times people, how they're using the concept of God is God's going to do it for me. I don't have to do anything. God's going to do it for me, and he'll just give me everything I want just because I ask him, and I don't have to make any type of effort.
Well, is it not Jesus that said, "Knock and the door shall be open; ask and ye shall receive"?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes. Okay.
It sounds like he set himself up for that.
And Godless to biblical stories. Like my favorite biblical story is always like never mentioned in these spaces, which is the woman who had a problem with bleeding, and she had to touch the hem of Jesus' garment for her cycle to stop. Yeah. I related to that because like I got that at a young age. I was like 10, you know, and I always was like, oh my God, I'm 10. This shouldn't be happening. And it's always just been a kind of like, a thing that every woman has to deal with and go through, but we don't necessarily like it, And so like, a lot of people look to like the story of Job or whatever and what he went through. And that was my story. And to your point, like, I couldn't get that stopped until I went to medical professionals, right? There was no amount of praying. Jesus never walked by, so I could get that resolved, That did it for me.
Cherry, you know what's funny about that you bring that up? When I was in church, right? That was one of my first sermons that I preached about. Because that was one of the first sermons, because that story says that when the woman touched Jesus, Jesus felt the power come out of him, right? Like, let me tell you, if I was a preacher right now, I will start a cult already, because I could be such a good preacher. Because the way I was up there, listen, the way I was up there, I was like, and the word says that when the woman touched him, he felt the power come out of him. Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. He felt the power come out of him.
Somebody, come on, somebody.
Come on, somebody. Let me tell you, I could preach, y'all. I could reach.
I have to admit, I would probably be a bit confused. Like, what does that mean?
Oh, okay. That what basically what that's supposed to mean is that when you interact with the when the Holy Spirit interacts with you, which means that Jesus felt someone's faith. Essentially, Jesus felt that there was someone who had so much faith in them that they that the power of the Holy Ghost was felt through what came from Jesus and went into the person. And that's how and that's how he knew that someone touched him, because the Holy Ghost moved, basically. That's what it meant.
Yeah, so I mean, I had a different experience growing up. When I was a Catholic kid. I went to Catholic school, and like I was sitting there, like I wonder what the priest's robe feels like. And so he walked by one day, and I reached out and I touched the robe, and I just got in trouble later and I got embarrassed by my teacher. So I had a different experience there.
Oh man, let me tell you. But yeah, in Baptist church, it was always something different. we were basically super charismatic preachers, and the thing is, even though like a lot of Haitians are Catholic, the only reason I didn't want to go to the Catholic churches with the other Haitians is because boring, bro. Jesus Christ, that shit was boring, bro. Boring. Oh my God, boring.
Volcy, so I moved to Barbados yesterday, and y'all, I was up in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. watching the local TV, and you know what it switched to? Caribbean gospel music video station, where they just play Caribbean gospel music all night, and I was like, oh, the religious psychosis in Jamaica makes sense now. They had dance hall gospel music. They were like, praise Jesus, praise Jesus, praise to Jesus. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And to your point about the Baptist, I grew up primitive Baptist, so a lot of times, man, a lot of times a lot of those cats wouldn't really be saying anything, but they'll get people hyped, just like, here we go, and I got you, and we gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, man, like, and when I start listening and actually, at a young age, I was able to catch on to what people saying. And it's just, the thing is that people don't realize that you're going off of emotion most of the time. You're not necessarily being moved by anything. It's normally by, most people are being moved by emotion. You know what I mean?
So another personal story from me. When my son was born, we actually lost a family member, and instead of having a funeral, they had. Business?
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I don't need a loan for my business, but thank you. But we, instead of having a funeral, they had it was like a Pentecostal service, and so it was like hollering, jumping up around, like singing and all this other stuff. And so my son, being like a small baby child that was just learning to stand, he was like bumping with the music and everything like that. And they're like, he's got the Holy Spirit in him. I'm like, no, he's just he's just dancing because it's music and it's loud and y'all are like all excitable and everything like that. It's not the Holy Spirit.
Oh, definitely. Oh, man. Yeah, I hear that, right?
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, that's Haitian church. Oh, some power.
See how the others do it?
Oh, some power. Let me tell you, like Haitian church is fun, man. It really is fun. It really is fun. But yeah, that's a Haitian song. They're actually singing Yahshua. It's a song. It's a song from Hillsong United. If you ever know about Hillsong United, you'll know one of their songs. But like what Haitians like to do, they take American songs and they remix them. It's always hilarious. All right, Armageddon, you're back. Armageddon, we're gonna go ahead and close out with you in these last 10 minutes. Can you tell us why do you think is a good reason to believe in a God?
Well, only because personally I've experienced them. So I've had a tangible experience. I've had a spiritual experience. So that's the reason I believe in them. I grew up Lutheran. And I didn't know the Word of God, but I Lutheran. All I did was I was being taught the word, but I didn't know the word. And so then I met my wife. She was Baptist, and I learned the word a little more. And after that, I went I went to Methodist church. And the only reason I do these things is because I really wanted to know God for myself. And so after that, like I said, I've had a real experience like my son. I'll give you a prime example. Y'all was talking about the issue of blood and things like that and praying, and I get it. I understand God does not always answer the way we want him to answer. But my son was very sick. He had 104 fever and he passed out on my arm. And the first thing I said was, God, whatever you do, do not let my son pass. I said, whatever he has, give it to me. I think that was the worst thing I could have ever said. Because as soon as I said that, probably 5 minutes later, my son was up and running and I was in the floor sick.
I'm so sorry, Volcy.
Yeah,
This just sounds so insensitive to me. And I really hate when I'm asking people about the belief in a higher power and they use personal experience of things, but they don't mention of all of the people who did not get to have that experience, right? So where is God for them? I don't understand why people are hyper focused on, God is here for me, but he's not showing up for others.
That's actually what I was gonna say as well, Cherry.
No, hold on, because I would like the host to speak.
Yeah, that's so. I was gonna bring that up as well. Like, I'm glad that your son is still here. Truly, I truly am. But what I would say is that there are people out there as well who prayed for their children to survive and they didn't. Recently, my cousin died in January. She died of a cancer that she didn't know that she had, right? And my family, everyone prayed that she would be well. She died. You see what I'm saying? And my aunts, my uncles, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, you know what I mean? Because my grandmother is still alive and she had to bury her grandchild. My aunt had to bury her daughter. You see what I'm saying? Like, and me, like, I saw her be born and her time on this world is done before I became 40. You see what I'm saying? She died at 30. So it's like all these people prayed and pleaded with God to heal this cancer and take it away from her, and she died. So it's like whenever people bring up these stories of, God saving their children, and make no mistake, I am glad that your child is still here. Why wasn't my cousin saved then?
It's time. I sent you a message. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because we're not mutuals, but I did send you a message. But yeah, it's just like it can be insensitive.
No. Please, I didn't mean it that way at all. Trust me, I didn't, because I have another story. Because my oldest son, hold on, wait. My oldest son died in a car wreck just a year ago. So, and I pleaded with God because he had a brain
That's
swelling of the
called
brain.
modern medicine, and I please need you to check your messages and let them know if you see a message from me.
Right.
Oh, my message.
Right. So
yes, I sent you a message.
So Armageddon.
Hold on 1 second.
Armageddon.
No, I was.
Yeah, I got you.
But she was saying I was insensitive.
No,
I wasn't being
please
insensitive.
check your messages.
Wow. Okay.
Check your messages, and you will understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he can while he's on the live, but you could check it afterwards. But Armageddon. What I wanted to say is that, like, we all have these sort of stories where people say that, God either saved my child or I lost someone, etc., etc. These don't really show me that a God exists, and honestly, my cousin passing away really made me say that if there's a God that exists, why would this God let this young woman who's never harmed anyone, like my cousin was one of the best people you could ever know, die so horribly because she was in pain when she was passing away, a massive amount of pain. You see what I'm saying? Because she could barely talk. like I will never understand a type of God that will allow that type of suffering for an innocent good person. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really take those as like I get it's very, very deep and personal to you, right? I get that. I'm not gonna take that away from you. And again, I'm happy that your son is still here. But you know, these type of things, like it really make me question what type of God is this that would do a sort of thing. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's just like human choice. What type of humans do we find that would uh, hurt other children or hurt other people in that sense? So when we ask what type of God would do these things, it's a God of it's still the same, just like humans love, just like God love. It's still the same. So what happens
Well,
is,
see, I cannot listen to this.
It's all right,
I
Cherry.
can't.
You can
Yeah.
message me later. I got you.
What's wrong, Sherry?
No, it's
Can I ask her-
it's a sensitive topic for her, so she doesn't want to talk about it. It's
Oh,
fine. But
trust
And
me.
I told you, and you don't know the context, so yeah, I can't do this.
Okay. Well, I do apologize. I don't know her. I don't know the backstory.
I got you. I got you. But the things that what I'm saying is essentially it I don't think that really answers what I'm trying to get to. Why allow this type of suffering for an innocent person, or let it happen? Why not save them? I just don't understand that. You see what I'm saying? Like, why would a God do that? If we're even saying for sake of the argument that this God exists, give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Actually, let me see his name. D-Truth. I'm about to end in a few moments. Because Armageddon's gonna be my last guest, and I'm gonna get out of here. But come back tomorrow.
Are you going to be back on tomorrow?
I'll be back on tomorrow. Be the same subject.
What time?
Around the same time, 6:37.
Oh, 6:30 or 7.
Yeah, I'm on Eastern.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I am too. I'm in Georgia right now. I was in Baltimore, but I'm in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm down in Florida, so we near each other.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. How about this? Come by tomorrow, because I think this is a good conversation, or a deeper conversation to have. But so come by tomorrow, all right? I'm getting.
Can you give me a little backstory on Sherry, so I won't offend or anything?
I don't know her whole I don't know her whole backstory, but I can tell it's a very sensitive thing. She's probably gonna tell me later, but I can recognize stuff like that. So that's how I know.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here though. But I do appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you also. I will definitely speak to you. You said 6 o'clock tomorrow?
Yeah, 6:37 Eastern time. Come by tomorrow, all right?
Okay, we'll do that.
Not a problem. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Yeah, D-Truth. I'm an atheist, but I'm gonna come. D-Truth. I see that you followed me. Come tomorrow around 6:37. We'll talk about that. All right. Make sure your notification bell are on. All right, guys. I do apologize that we couldn't get to a lot of the callers today. It was very, very busy over here on TikTok. Very, very surprised about that. It's usually not busy on TikTok when I have callers, but once again, I do appreciate y'all. I do apologize for the people who called in. Do apologize I didn't get to you. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. For everyone on Twitch who watched me on Twitch, I appreciate y'all for watching me on Twitch. Thank you so much. We're going to pump those numbers up on Twitch. We're going to keep streaming. And once again, y'all, I'm going to do love you all. If you watch me on the Volcy Thoughts channel, please subscribe. Volcy Thoughts everywhere, here on TikTok, on Threads, on Instagram, and on YouTube, Volcy Thoughts. Over on Deconstruction Junction, I do appreciate y'all for watching me there. I'm gonna have the call-in number tomorrow, and I'll be trying to control that a little better. If you're watching me over on the Black Atheist Coalition, once again, I appreciate y'all there as well. Y'all wonderful. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna have a good night. Be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, be thoughtful, be soft, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace.